Should be live now. Self Love Production. You can cue the show. Black Ed, episode number 5.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
TATN, what's going on, my brother? God is the greatest. The point of life is to make life better for your brother and your sister, like the way parents are pleased when most of their offspring love and support. That's exactly right, my brother. That's exactly right. This ain't that network rocking out with us. I missed you, man. I don't know where you've been at. We've been holding it down, having some good shows here. Where you been at? You know I'm gonna hold you accountable. You got to be in the building when we launch, but you're here tonight. So thank you for rocking out with us on tonight. Hey, listen. Somebody needs to hear. Faith come by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. It don't always got to take place in a pulpit with a preacher and a clergy caller on screaming at you. Sometimes it's just general conversation that God drops nuggets that you'll be able to pick up on. And so I need us all to rock out. That's right. Come on, my brother, always looking out for me. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And matter of fact, hey, fellas, y'all go check out TATN. Network, dope brother, creating dope content. Go follow him. Go subscribe to their channel. To his channel. Hey, bro, go look up Off the Cuff. That's the name of these brothers. Go subscribe to their channel. Rock.
I don't care who's first or who's last, but I know that y'all just better rock this at the drop of a dime, baby. I don't know what y'all gonna do with this, but it got to be funky. It got to be funky if you're gonna be on it. I don't care who start, I don't care what y'all do, but you got to be finished before the music is through. Listen closely, so your attention's undivided. Many in the past have tried to do what I did, just the way I came on bent.
And if somebody could text Kareem the YouTube link, that's the one that needs to go out to all the viewers. The YouTube link. What's the point of life? Lord, why do we do it? And what's the point of strife? Pimps and whores see right through it. They see fluid. All Johns ain't saints, and St. John knew it. Tricks are preachers, 12 disciples, and so-called druids. See, solid. Get married and have shorties after college. So what's the point? Vibrate love, go share knowledge. Silence is violence. Stupid is as stupid does. Join the Give Back Gang Alliance. Gang, gang.
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. You know, it don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real.
Yeah.
Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro.
They're so ignorant.
Ignorant.
So
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy
ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Facts. Truth. Yeah, well, they couldn't handle the truth. Couldn't handle the truth. Truth does not care. Get on the frequency. Get on the frequency. All right, we're going to keep your camera off, Brother Pender, until the intro. Production can handle that, please. And I got you.
Thank you, sir.
Chicago. I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Yes, sir. That's what we are.
Really the most. I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Anyone that's coming into the Zoom, that name is not Kareem Pender, please exit the Zoom meeting. The Zoom meeting is for Brother Pender only. We will drop a, what do you call that? YouTube link. Brother Pender will get you a YouTube link. So if you're entering this Zoom, in production, if you can just exit the people who are entering, or maybe type a message in chat here that they should leave. Appreciate it. But we're going to start the show. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Vision. Self-love vision. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Here we go. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Yes, sir. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Yo, welcome to Chicago's very own, the Self Love Show, where our motto is, as above, so below. And on earth as it is in heaven. We can be found exclusively right here on YouTube's very own channel. This Ain't That Network, or TATN. If you're currently on the Zoom link and you're not Kareem Pender and you're trying to watch the show, you can simply do a YouTube search. You can type The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. Spell love, L-U-V. If you do a YouTube search and you type The Self Love Show, That's where you need to go to enjoy the show. That is the easiest thing I can tell you. Or you can go to YouTube and you can search TATN. That's This Ain't That Network. We're currently doing a live stream and you will find us accordingly. This Zoom link is only for the participants of the show. We do apologize for the miscommunication and the confusion, and we do appreciate your understanding. This is your co-host, Nine Mills, also known as Self Love. What down, shout down, what down. Repeat after me if you so choose. I am stronger than my excuse. Yes, sir. I am stronger than my excuse. Today is Hump Day, Tuesday, April 7th, and we are live 2021. How do you know we're live? Janisha Marshall. Good evening, Janisha Marshall. We're live. And you can be any place in the universe. And thankfully, we all Scooter chose to be here together. Here together. Yes, sir. What down. To Mr. Co-host, Tory Wordsmith, what you manifesting today, bruh?
Love, self. I'm manifesting love. What you manifest?
That's what's up.
What you manifest?
Love,
self?
bro. Love. Pure, magnanimous love, man. Love. What's going on the South Side today? What's the weather like?
Man, 77, 80, somewhere in there. Very nice. It was a little windy towards, in before I came in, get ready for the show. But it was trying to rain in a little bit in there. It was crazy. But sunny, raining, drizzling. It never rained. It drizzled a couple times.
Yeah. Well, they say it never rains in Midwest Chicago, Illinois. They tell me it never rains in Midwest Chicago, Illinois. Right? Is that?
But it rains here. Sunny California, not the same as the Midwest out there.
I thought it was a nice ditty, but man, bro, hey, but big show, man. Big show. We got our brother in the building. I don't like to say we made cats because these cats were made when they approached us, or you know what I mean. But we got our brother.
You can say we made them.
All right. Well, all right. Well, technically, all right, we made them, but
it was,
right. Yeah. Well, but proud of this brother.
Yeah.
Man, made a way for himself and used the capital E and the capital D. That's Ed. Got on that, used that as a vehicle, to prop himself up and of course, prop his family up.
Absolutely.
Man. So, big ups. I mean, so we're featuring Kareem Pender. He's got over 25 years in education experience. And so, again, we're, super proud of this brother. We're going to touch on how he used education to help facilitate his successful rise from the, quote, low end, end quote, on to his current achievement. We're also going to get his take on our Self Love Nation's More Growth and Development program. We'll skim over that a bit. And we'll definitely get his take on education, the current status of what's going on in Chicago, specifically in our urban areas, what's being done, what he'd like to see done, and, his processes and remedies. So that's, what we've got, stored up for the Self Love Nation today, as promised.
Yeah, Absolutely. It's going to be a great conversation.
Man. So, one thing, if you have any, experience in this area, you might be an educator, you might be a parent, you might be a student, any type of relationship to education, you might be an administrator. We want to hear about it. Let us know. Put a fist up in the chat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need you to like, share, subscribe far and wide. We are growing organically. Ain't no bots. We're not paying for no views. We need everybody to know how we're moving. We appreciate you. We love you. We need you. So thank you in advance. And for all the work you've done so far. Got a little housekeeping to take care of. And then 2 very important videos. I want you to pay close attention. They are great information. And it's going to help you get in the mood for the show.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be cleared and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. Number 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless.
Yes, sir.
9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Nina Ross, baby. 9. Waiver. The waiver? Yes, sir. Inflation. Yeah, buddy. So we had a great show yesterday, a greater show, I should say. Big ups to Big Nick, South Florida, and happy belated birthday to his special lady, right?
Beautiful.
Man.
Great show.
If you don't know who Big Nick, South Florida is, he's got over 30 million views on his YouTube channel, Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. And he is a civil rights auditor. So, we try to support we try to stop saying try, and that's what we're going to do. So we support one another. We recycle our money, and that's what we're doing here. So big ups. It's a great show. If you'd like to have a child, if you say to yourself, when my son leaves the house, I'm afraid, I think the police might get him, or I don't, yeah. This is something that can probably put you at ease and ease some of your anxiety if you can teach each other how to move.
Absolutely. It's very important in this day and age that you know your rights and how and when to assert them.
Facts, because, knowledge is the key to ending slavery.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So knowledge is definitely the key to ending slavery. And quickly on the announcement side, you don't have to go anywhere. So if we have tomorrow, we're launching our new show called Mouthpiece Included. It's a 60-minute politically charged sports segment. And so tomorrow's episode, it's going to be live right here on TATN. TATN. It's going to be live. And that's where we're going to talk about the Colin Kaepernick, to that brother. I'm going to talk about the Colin Kaepernick to knee or not to knee. That is the question. So if anyone is into sports or, have a penchant for these types of, political locker room type of discussions, by all means, feel free to drop in. We'll even drop that link down in there for, people to pop up on the second half of the segment. If they have the cojones, so to speak, the Chicago nads, so to speak, to get up here and, say what they got to say. Right, Self Love?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some discussion and going to be enlightening.
Man, facts. Some serious fun. Some serious fun. So let me just check here, and big ups to everybody. Thanks for your support. Please share this link, hit that thumbs up. That is going to help us get this filled up because, today is not about us. It's about our guests. But Self, I had to ask, let's see here, because I kind of changed up, bro. But I had to ask you, bro, I know you stay pretty unplugged with everything.
Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, when we get to 300 subs or 299 subscribers, please subscribe before you leave. Self Love is going to get psychologically regressed. Yes, he's going to get regressed by the brain bully, a hypnotist, and go back into his subconscious and everything, and shake everything around in there. So we have steps we're doing, things we're doing as we reach these different plateaus. The next plateau, myself and my lovely wife, who you may have seen on TV, we're going to jump out of jump out of an airplane with parachute. So speaking of jumping out of an airplane, Self, I'm not going to say the guy was clout chasing, seemed like a good guy, but he went out and did what myself and my wife are going to do, during this, Face Your Fear project. And so whenever production has that, this is just, so this is what we're going to do.
It is haunting video of an 18-year-old making his first
production.
parachute jump while his mother watched. His chute never opened. Now a judge has found the owner of the skydiving school negligent to the tune of $40 million.
Tyler Turner was thrilled to go skydiving. Fighting back nerves, the 18-year-old taped this video minutes before heading into the air.
My name is Tyler Turner. What do I do here? I am going to jump out of a plane. It's your first time. First time indeed.
His mom, Francine,
did you hear the guy talking to him?
That's my mom over there.
Man, please give me a black him out and get out of my way. Where's the parachute guy?
More that she'll help me with more of my life because I want to make it.
Give me a Swisher Sweet.
Here he is as he makes the
His
big
mom
jump.
was out there. That's
Tragically,
devastating.
the parachute
Gee, it's
never
devastating.
opened. Tyler plummeted.
Look, at this point, the tandem guy knows there's a problem, but he doesn't.
Attached to his tandem
Man.
instructor, who was not certified and was also killed.
Not certified.
God.
The ambulances and sheriffs and police,
Look at that.
fire engine, all that stuff was in the distance, and I could see all the lights going. I thought, oh my gosh, my son is hurt. We got to get him to the hospital.
Since the 1980s, the skydiving company in Lodi, California, reportedly has been linked to 20 other
20 deaths, bro.
Were you shocked to hear
Since the
how many
80s.
other fatalities there had been there?
Absolutely.
I was.
Tyler had a bright future ahead of him. He was looking forward to starting college with a full scholarship to study
Subscribe, you
biomedical
guys.
engineering.
Myself and my wife, we're going to do the same.
He was definitely.
No, you're not going to do the same. You are going to jump out the plane.
Well behaved out of
That's right.
all of us.
$499.
The hardest in
It's going to
school,
be reputable.
for sure. He just really enjoyed life all around.
Well
The
inspected
death
company.
happened in 2016, but the video has just been released
God,
after a
this
judge
is-
awarded the family
Look at that.
$40 million.
Where they going? You can award
Paul
whatever you want to
Vanderwald
award.
represents the
Right.
Turner family.
You know,
He says this was not your normal.
you can write whatever you want on that paper, Your Honor.
It wasn't run like.
Why don't you make it 80 million? Why are you making it 40 million?
Or run like a bunch of people just
Might as
out
well
for
be a
fun on the
billion.
weekend. and
Man,
then
I didn't even
they
have
happen to
licensed
be
people. I didn't even want to pay for
There must
licensed
be some
trainers.
satisfaction
Man.
that you won against this company.
It's satisfying knowing that we were able to do something. We were able to get some justice for our son.
Family says they plan to use the money from the lawsuit to
Did they
start
say
a
if they closed the
scholarship
place
in
down
honor
or
of
not?
Tyler, who was a straight-A student.
I don't think they closed the place either.
They didn't. They didn't say that they did or didn't.
Man,
I
where
I
is
would
the...
suspect that they did. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but they didn't say they did. Where's the attorney general, man? You know, like where?
Yeah, we ain't on the screen out there.
All right. Where's the attorney general?
I don't have a clue because that, I would think if they got a $40 million suit that they would have to sell all their assets and would have to close if they didn't have that handy or, 40 million.
Yeah, well, that was the 20th, mishap since the 80s from that company. So somehow their insurance company's got to be like, big ballers, right? But enough of this, man.
Going on right now.
Yeah. But enough of this, man. They're not here to hear our banter. You know what I mean? Enough of these appetizers.
Man, come on and fulfill the self-love nation's thirst.
Facts. That's what we're going to get done here. And so as production starts getting their thing ready, you guys, please, we're going to ask you over and over to like, share, subscribe. Once we get to 9,999 subscribers, myself and this guy, we're going to spark a movement to change the city of Chicago, and that's going to be a platform to change the world.
Absolutely.
That is going to be the platform.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to this conversation. It's going to, it's going to grow.
Man, who you telling, bro? This is going to be the combo of all combos.
Yes, it is. Promo is not where it should be.
All right, while we're getting this together, let's see. This is what happens, people, when we wait to the last minute to get our stuff together. I do apologize for this mishap. Let's see here.
I got it.
Let's see.
I got it.
Appreciate you. Big ups to production. Get it on. And Self Love Nation, on Wednesday, the 7th, we are bringing you another Pender show. But it's not Pat Pender. We're going back to Black education with my club. Your club. Yes. We got Kareem Pender coming in the building on Wednesday as an extension of our Black education series that Self Love and I are very high up on.
Hey, this series has been off the chain, and I think this will continue in that same frame and fashion. They have been unapologetic and speak their truth, and a lot of them coincide and collide. So I expect this.
Big ups, G Herbo.
Frame.
Right on the block.
What kind of hell you been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready.
We got coming in the building today,
If he's not ready,
Mr. Pender, Mr. Kareem Pender, Silverback, over 20 plus years of experience. He's been making an impact through educational and social service programs, dedicated public servant, has garnered the respect of his peers, his parents, and CPS administrators, up to and including the mayor. He's had incredible experience managing programs that direct service and executive administrative levels, and he's been widely recognized. He's a undergraduate from the University of Illinois. That's the Greater Beta chapter for y'all who don't know. And my brother. So everybody in the chat, let's give some electronic hands. Search out those hands in there. That's how we do that there. And welcome this brother in the building. Let's get this brother right here going in the building. There he is right there.
Welcome, 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 club. Thank you for having the opportunity to have this conversation. It's going to be a beautiful thing, and I expect it to be right in line with what this series has been going about. Knowing you and knowing what you're about, looking forward to this conversation.
Facts. Hey, club, I'm going to ditto that. Yeah, I'm going to ditto that. I've been waiting a long time for this as well. You and B-Funk. So we got you today. Today is not about his brother. Today is not about funk. Today is about our club. And for you cats who don't know, this is Mr. Kareem Pender. His contact info is KY Pender. KV. My bad. Can't read my own writing. KV Pender at cps.edu. And he's at LinkedIn. You can get him on LinkedIn at Kareem. That's K like Kappa, AREEM PENDER. So his LinkedIn is Kareem Pender. And he is plugging quality and equitable education for African-American students anywhere and at every level. High-level parent engagement and involvement in every aspect of their children's lives. And today's show, as all shows, are sponsored by SayEurekaAfrica.com. Y'all check them out and go buy the bag. It's a Black-owned company. So what up, bro? What up, Kareem? Yo.
What's up, Noop? I appreciate you having me, club. Want to start off with all praises due to Allah, Allahu Akbar. Just want to be very humble and grateful to be here. You guys are doing an excellent performance with the show. I've been following along, and developing this platform for African American voices and really being able to have a discussion on various different topics. And I just humbly appreciate you giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge and my experience and some of the roles that I've taken throughout life. I appreciate you, sir.
Man, big ups, bro. Big ups. And sir is my dad. And yeah, we don't want to talk about him. And I probably wouldn't call him sir. Big ups, my dad. All right, here we go, man. I want to jump into this, bro. We're going to start the first segment, and it's just kind of, getting your early life. I think I have an idea, but it's always different from brother to brother. Like my perspective is going to be different from, my siblings to a certain extent. So for those who don't know, what time frame and where were you born? So like decade and what city and what part of that city?
So I was born Chicago, Illinois, the Robert Taylors, actually. From the projects, first 15 years of my life, born 1973. First 4 or 5 years of my life, grew up in the Robert Taylors, the last red building, 3919 South Federal. And then I migrated to the Archie course on the lower end, the Ickies. And, really starting out, where I want to just start out with a story, just setting a platform for my discussion is I'm not supposed to be here. Where I'm at educationally, where I'm at professionally, where I started off from did not really have a direction and a platform to be where I am now. And saying that, parent engagement, parent involvement in education is what really saved my life and put me on a platform to where I am today. Tell you a small story, sitting at a table, 9 years of age with another young man, 10 years of age, just finished a paper route, had a paper route. And since I was 7 years of age, and we're sitting there at 7 a.m., 7:30 in the morning. And my first time ever using this term, stepdad walks through the door at 7:30 in the morning, and my mom comes out the bedroom and pulls a gun on him. And my brother and I are sitting at the table having breakfast. There's a gun pointed at my stepdad, and she demands that he tells his sons, where did he just come from? And he's begging her to put the gun down. She's holding the gun solid, like, where did you come from at 7:30 in the morning? And he's just frozen. And my brother and I are sitting at the table, we're eating breakfast, we froze, we try to get up and leave. She demanded we sit at the table and we evaluate the situation thoroughly. So we're looking at each other like, what do we do? And, she starts to cry. He grabs the gun. She lowers the gun. He tells us to leave the table. We leave the table and we have to go get ready to go to school after that incident. Saying that to say that my stepdad, like I said, never called him my stepdad before because he's been in my life since I was 9 months. He did 8 years as a drug addict. He was on cocaine and crack. And my biological father was a drug addict. Did 35 years in prison. Just got cleared last year. So I'm saying that to say, just starting off the platform there, my parent engagement from my mother. And also my stepdad, because he got clean and he was a hell of a man. But that catapulted my road to success, I should say, and where I am today. My mother made sure that we learned the street knowledge as well as the book knowledge. And those incidents built strength, confidence, and direction in my life moving forward. And that was some real situations that was experienced at that moment. And my brother and I, we slightly talked about that incident, but not too much throughout our life. But those were some real situations that most folks don't know about me, don't know where I came from and where I grew up. But those were some platforms and foundations that sort of made sure that I understood that education, my mother was expressing that at that moment and throughout my life, that education, parent involvement, parent engagement is the great equalizer to any situation.
Yeah, I've been hearing great things about your mom, bro. You know what I'm saying? So big ups. Do you know, because I know one thing we as black men, You know, we deal with a lot of trauma, a lot of us, and so we develop a way to compartmentalize things. Like, so I heard you say you and your brother didn't really discuss that. Really, you know, you haven't really talked about that. So, you know, how old were you when that situation happened?
I was approximately 9 years of age. My brother was a year and a half older than me. He's around 10, 11 at the time. And we've had conversations about so many things throughout our lives, but the discussions that we've had was always not looking at it as how it defeated us, but how we utilize those situations to grow and to build and to make sure that we continue to share that knowledge and continue to make sure that others around us were able to grow from our experience and not be afraid. That's one thing that my mother really implemented in us, is not to be afraid of the challenges that lay forth amongst you. And when I was 15, I moved away from the projects, but I would always go back and hang out with my friends and, you know, kick it with them, play ball. 17 years of age, 2 months from my high school graduation, I roll up on my boys in the projects to kick it with them. And I see them, I stopped my car a block away. I see the police got 10 of them lined up on the fence, patting them down, searching them. They were all gang banging, drug dealing, you know, and I'm gonna get to that aspect later on in the conversation, but I evaluated the situation from a block away. And I said, I'm going to college and they're going to jail. I gotta shake myself from this situation. And I have to make a decision at this point to what my circle is gonna be, to where I'm looking to go. So I evaluated the situation. 7 to 8 of my guys got arrested, went to jail. I hopped in the car, rode off, and I didn't revisit those guys for a number of years, 10, 20 years. I didn't reconnect to them because my life elevated to a different direction. And most of them went to jail, selling drugs, gang banging. They doing okay in life now. These were my Sandlot buddies. These are guys that I'm not ashamed of.
Right.
They would take a bullet for me. I would take a bullet for them. But this is, some people think that, you know, growing up in the projects and living in certain situations is a badge of honor, which at times it can be. But when you're really living through that, you're living through those circumstances and those dynamics and those experiences, this ain't about just which side of the block you cock your hat to. And, you know, you want to be a tough guy and say where you from the city. These are real circumstances, dramatic situations that folks lived in and what they dealt with.
Man, life and death.
Yeah. Facts.
Man, that's good stuff, man. And you unpacked a whole lot there, bro. Who was the first United States president that you can remember coming up?
Jimmy Carter. I remember Jimmy Carter. I was about 7 and in 1978, 79. I remember in the blizzard of 79, Jane Byrne was the mayor of Chicago, and my parents would watch the news and they would always refer to him as a peanut farmer. And Jimmy Carter was someone that we sort of looked at as African-American people at that time that was a fairness, that kind of, you know, really looked to bring some type of equality to the situations that we were dealing with at the time. And then Reagan sort of came along and really set us back, you know, 10, 20 years after that with some of his agendas and platforms. But I remember Jimmy Carter, he was only a one-time president, and he wasn't the typical politician that America was used to. But I think Jimmy Carter was good. He was a good catalyst for, you know, African-American people in this country at the time. So I remember my parents speaking of Jimmy Carter at the time.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to back up a little bit. You were talking about, you hit like a crossroads, so to speak. We put the crossroads right there. That's going to be reparations. But, you know, when you were like, okay, I seem to be branching off in this direction. And, you know, my tribe is, you know, going in another direction. And, you know, I got to kind of like remove myself, not separate myself, but, you know, remove myself from this situation if I'm gonna do what it is that I got to do. And then you said shortly after they got arrested or what have you, things just fell apart. I think, because I was going to ask you about, you know, your ancestors, your elders, you know, how they interacted with you, any lessons. Like, Who do you credit for that type of discernment?
My mother, top of the list. My dad, right there. Secondly, you know, I had a complex, interesting upbringing in a good way. It's been the street knowledge and the book knowledge. You know, I went to Catholic school all my life. You know, back in the 80s, Chicago public school was on strike a lot. So when you lived in the projects, your mailbox was a kind of a block or two away from your apartment. So I had to walk. I would get out of school. My friends would be playing outside while they on strike. They haven't gone to school. It's mid-September. I would have to walk to the mailbox with my uniform on, and I'm getting teased because I'm in school. I got homework to do. You know, I'm walking to the mailbox and they out playing and they like, look at this nerd. Look at this clown. He going to school. We still out here playing. We having fun. And, you know, that was the separate. I didn't realize it at the time, but a lot of that foundation was the separation of what direction their life was going in and what direction my life was going in. So as I had a paper out, my dad was a business major. He majored in business management in college at Illinois State. So my brother and I had a paper route. We had to go deliver our paper, get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, deliver our newspapers, and then go collect our money and do bookkeeping. This is at the age of 7 and 8 years of age. My dad taught us bookkeeping, where we had to keep the records and the books of collecting our money for our paper route. So my mom is educating us. She grew up in the Robert Taylors, born and raised. She educating us in the streets about certain things we have to avoid, things we have to be cautious of and aware of. My dad is educating us on the book knowledge. He was college educated, a college graduate. His father was a self-made millionaire. His dad wanted to create a joint marriage between him and Linda Rice from Johnson & Johnson. And my mom was from the projects with 3 children. And they had a liquor store. They owned a liquor store across the street from the project. So they weren't a match that was supposed to match up. But my dad loved her, ended up dating her, marrying her with 3 kids. He didn't have any kids. So he was a major influence on our lives on the book side, the educational side, the structure side. And my mom, she was the disciplinarian. It wasn't no coming home, going outside to play, kick it, playing video games. You did 2-3 hours of homework after you finished school.
Facts. You had to finish
after
everything.
You finished school.
Facts.
So that's really the difference in this day and age when you're talking about education. School is an introduction. When you're going to school 5, 6, 7 hours a day, the lessons that you're being taught from your teachers, your principals, that's an introduction to math and English. But the mastery of your assignments and your work is what you're getting at home and in your household.
The foundation, bro.
Yes.
And you brought me back to something you said. Something happened to me, and I don't want to make this about me. And it just reminded me of the next day I went to work. And when traumatic things happen in our community and your mom, your family instilled that in you, okay, well, the blick came out and this is traumatic, but guess what? School is not an option. School is an obligation. School is your meat and potatoes. If you can make it to school, you're going to get to school, and it kind of builds something in you, whether it's work, whether it's, you know, an obligation like you being here doing this interview with us, you know, it kind of, I think puts some hair on your chest.
Yeah, as the director of family and community engagement for Chicago Public Schools, my role is to create educational and leadership programs for parents across the district. I manage a staff of 27 FACE managers and parent university coordinators. And what I really preach is there's a great imbalance among resources and services to many students across this district within Chicago, as well as across the nation. So when the examples of this is, and I'm saying the imbalance is within the household, not just the resources that aren't provided in the schools, but I'm saying the resources within the household. When you take a kid in Inglewood that's in 6th grade, that's responsible for caring for his 5 or 6 brothers or sisters, and he or she has to make sure that they get to school, they get fed, because there's a lack of parent engagement, of parent involvement that's within that household, and no one's checking that 6th grader's homework, providing him or her with the resources that they need to be successful in school. And then you take a 6th grader on the north side of the city that's attending a Francis Parker, a Latin, or a lab, and these students are going to schools that are $30,000-$40,000 a year at the elementary school level. And that cost doesn't exist because the school is of that higher value. That's to keep a certain element out. And when you're keeping a certain element out, not only is the investment in those students inside that school, but the investment is in those students away from the school, because the parents reach to retired principals to make sure these retired principals are tutors for their students. Make sure these, so if you got a kid in 6th grade that has a retired principal as their tutor, they're going to succeed in advance.
Man.
They have a retired science teacher that's working with them on a science project. So when you're looking at this Inglewood kid and this Northside kid, and you're saying in 6th grade, the advantages already exist there, who's going to be successful in life?
Man.
It's not a mystery or a misunderstanding or a miracle. The resources are right there at the 6th grade level that's going to show you that this kid is going to be successful over the other kid.
And let me say the beauty of this universe is that what you said, everything you said is true, and I believe that there could be two truths. You know, everything you said, it cannot be denied, so I'll just leave it there. Everything you said, bro, is true. It cannot be denied, bro. But just know that there are two truths. There are always two truths, bro. You know, so you know, we want to just go through the chat really quick, Noop. Just real quick, I want to acknowledge some people that are acknowledging you, and then we'll pick it back up right here. Big ups, Kareem. It's from Mo. Lane Jennings, clap, clap. Janisha, clap, clap. Dory Collins, shout out. Kimberly Walker, proud cousin. Janice Dubb, clap, clap. Camila, clap, clap. Asa Patterson, he said, yo, Ship. Gerald Morrow, my main man. Adrian Garner, thumbs up. Janice, wow, thank you for sharing. And then Circle Crowd Community is from Gerald. Dory Collins says, fundamental skills learned at an early age. Our kids need to learn the basics out the gate. Amazing. Yeah. Yes. Solid foundations are the key. Yep, I agree. Shout out to my awesome director. That's from Adrian Garner. Janice says, retired educators as tutors. Shantae Pender, big sister proud. So yeah, bro, that reminds me. And what I mean to say is this. They keep us down or try to keep us down, and certain people have better tools, but those of us who make it, who rise above it, it only makes us better, right? You have cats who never had the fancy weights, and all they did was run on the beach and, you know, went to the lake every day and did push-ups and pull-ups and did something natural like move bricks from one part of the house to the other part, and they were somehow just better. And I don't want to get into, you know, universal stuff because YouTube has warned me about talking about, you know, good stuff. So, you know, if we were talking about cats butt dancing for the Baphomet, I guess that would be all right. Little Nas X. So, but let's jump back into the questions. Unless Self Love, did you have something you want to jump in before I go to my next one, bro?
I was just thinking, as foundational. When did sports become part of your lexicon?
Sports, my dad played high school ball, college ball. You know, he had us. I remember early on in the early 80s with Mark Aguirre and Terry Cummins watching DePaul with my dad. And, you know, I was so heartbroken when DePaul lost to Notre Dame. Kelly Tripucka shot DePaul.
And Skip Dillard missed the free throws, man. Remember?
Shot DePaul out, man. And I remember sitting at the television watching that game with my dad.
Free throw shooter.
And you know, watching the Lakers in Philly. I was a big Dr. J fan, so I think it was maybe 82 or something like that. And the Lakers, my dad was a huge Lakers fan, and he had the Lakers and I had Philly, and I bet him $1. I was a shorty, probably 9, 10 years. I bet him $1 on the series. I think Philly might have swept that series or won it 4-1, something like that. So just learning the game from my dad, grade school, high school, you know, playing ball all the time. And just really, you know, two things that I learned just from a natural process from my dad, chess and basketball. And, you know, honestly, to be 100% honest, I got to give ultimate credit to a good fraternity brother of mine, Brian Parker, Brian B. Funk Parker, really taught me a lot about basketball. I was the director of a youth center on 76 and Phillips, and Brian and I started a program called, you know, Chicago Kings basketball. It was a skills and drills program back around about 2000. And, you know, Brian really taught me how to see the game from a coach's standpoint. And as he trained and coached kids, you know, I was very impressed with the knowledge that Brian had. And I just dove into it, you know, playing with Noob Hoops, learning a lot from you two guys, you know, and dove into Noob Hoops and just, you know, really, you know, listening and absorbing all I could from what I loved as a kid and the passion I had as a kid. And really, you know, taking on, I mean, all the other sports too, played, growing up in the projects, we played football, baseball, but interesting enough, I don't know if my brother is on the line, but interesting enough, we started playing basketball on the monkey bars. We didn't have
we used to do that too, dunk on the monkey bars.
Yeah, we dunked on the monkey bars, man. So we had the two.
Hey, when you miss the ball, bounce on top of it, the ball be bouncing, jumping.
There you go, man.
Hey, but your brother was talking about football out there in the courtyard too. He said y'all used to play with the men, like with the older guys, like football, straight running.
Man, we had the thing called the ball field, and we played football in the courtyard. We played strikeout.
Yeah.
You know, we would play strikeout. And like I say, we went to Catholic school. So him and I, we would get out of school early in June, and all the other kids was in school, in public school. So we would play strikeout. We'd be the only ones out of school. Though. It was just him and I. So he would pitch, and I would bat, and then I would bat. And he used to rock my son. He's a 3.5 older. So he used to rock me, man. I could never beat him. And then I got a little tall, a little big, and I started to be able to hit his pitches. So
that's what it comes down to. Yes, that's what it comes down to. Like, all right, once I get up to bat, I'm about to man on first and second, visible man on third.
There you go.
Invisible people.
Bing, bing. All the cats on the line that remember strikeout, you used to paint your own strikeout box with the X, man.
Well, you know, I went to school in Hyde Park. I meant to tell Cosmo this. We didn't use paint. We used tape. You know, their parents had tape and chalk, and they would give us all types of stuff. But hey, here we go, bro. I'm going to just back you up a bit because before we move to the next segment. So you were talking about all of that with the sports, and then you said that you moved away at like 15. So when did you get a sense of like the gunfire and the yap when that wasn't safe anymore? Yak, yak, yak. You know, the city turned more cutthroat. Like what happened? When did you get a sense of all of that then where the kids wasn't doing that?
Yeah, I got to take that back to my mom again, man. She realized my brother and I was getting older. The gangs were recruiting us. You know, that was a lot of influences that she couldn't keep eyes on us and protect us from. So she knew that it was pretty much time for us to exit out. It was interesting enough. I was saying about the educational system. She had us saying we grew up in Chinatown. So we got stopped by the police. It was about 7 or 8 guys from my projects hanging out in Chinatown. We get stopped by the police, and the police are patting us down, and they find De La Salle IDs on my brother and I. They let us go immediately. Like, oh, you guys go to De La Salle? Okay, y'all can go ahead. They just assumed that we were good guys. We were on the right path. They allowed us to leave, and they kept our boys and retained them, you know, put them in handcuffs and everything. And we kind of analyzed that situation and realized that was a separation amongst having access.
Yes, it's black privilege.
Privilege is all around because probably half the police force was De La Salle alumni.
Correct.
At the time. So, you know, we knew that we, based upon our educational involvement in spaces, we were going in a different direction. So my mother realized that the environment that we were in was getting far too dangerous for us to continue to grow and evolve in that space. So the
lesson here for any of you kids out there, just to park it here really quick, Get you some fake IDs from places like Lindblom, Whitney Young, D. Lysell. Get you some jackets. Then you can carry around your shenanigans and carry the thing with you.
C-18.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, kids. Get education. Read. Books over Blicks. Books over Blicks. We got William Banks said 1986, the streets changed. Gerald Morrow said strikeout was the game. And William Banks, by 91, the streets were lit. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like 89, I wasn't coming home from school no more.
Man, it was heavy. It was heavy.
Dip in, dip out, you know what I mean?
I came home right after our freshman year, and that's when the Saint got killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, man, yeah.
89.
So, bro, I want to ask you, whom do you credit most for teaching you how to move effectively through the Jets and through the South Side like that, man? Most.
Yeah, my mom, my brother, my uncles. I got an older uncle, John, Larry, and Paul. And historically, my grandmother, my mom's mother, she was planted there first. Yeah, 11 children. She bared 11 children, planted in the Robert Taylors, and
those
she
are
didn't
strong
take
women.
Any of them.
Strong women.
Any of
took
them,
took their coffee black. You know what I mean? Look at you like you soft for putting sugar in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a real world, man. I mean, we were getting shot at by zip guns. Cats don't remember zip guns. You take the hinges off the doors, and cats were making zip guns, man. And you know, cats was getting shot, and it was a real life, man. And you have to dissect, you know, the knowledge that you were instilled with as survival, because you were in the jungle, and what you were learning, you know, in that environment, you know, when you took it to certain arenas, it didn't have the same value. So street cred, you know, you thinking street cred has the same value in other arenas.
It doesn't carry over. It doesn't carry over the same way.
It does not carry over the same way, man. And so, like, when I got to college, you know, joining Kappa Alpha Psi, I had to sort of reprogram myself at the University of Illinois. And what was of most value, I had a ship of mine, Don Spike. He grew up in a household where both his parents were professors. And Don was trained and educated under science professors. Dad was a dean of a college. So he learned science at an elevated level. So when he was at U of I, the exams that he was taking as a freshman and sophomore, he learned those things in 4th, 5th grade. So he wouldn't even study. He would just tell me, I'm like, Don, you gonna study? He like, man, I'm gonna set the curve on this test because I learned and I was educated on this information back in 4th and 5th grade.
Your brain is a muscle. So the sooner you start working on it, the stronger it begins. Go ahead though. He said 4th and 5th grade.
He summed up his classroom and understood who he needed to outthink and outperform. And based on if it's 50 questions on the exam, he knew all he had to do was get 30 right to set the curve for the A, based on the foundation that he had from his household and what he learned within the house. This is what I mean by parent engagement and parent involvement. And that's the key point. So regardless of how much resources that the schools can provide, that the school system can provide, it's an introduction. It's a 6-7 hour introduction. The mastery of the lessons is within the resources that you get outside of school. If you get introduced to a multiplication concept at 3rd and 4th grade, doing your multiplications for 2-3 hours at home is when you're mastering those concepts. And that's when your parents are sitting. My mom sat there and made me write my 2s and 3s and 4s multiplications over and over and over again to master those lessons.
You had to study your lessons, bro.
You had to study them. And so that's what I'm saying about parent engagement, parent involvement. My mother sent me to college with blank checks with just her signature on it. And she would call me every week or every other week and say, okay, cash a check for $50, cash a check for $100, because she knew she had to continuously stay involved financially, emotionally, supportive to me at a higher level.
Some of my dad's checks
at a higher level in college, because your experience, your responsibility at the high school level and the college level is far more advanced than what you're experiencing at the elementary school level. So parents will say at 14, 18, okay, I can take a break and I don't have to be involved in my child's life so much. You have to be involved even more at those higher levels, because that's when the danger is even more significant. I would hear my parents' voice in my head at college, and I would hear them say, okay, you're at the ledge right now. If you go 2 steps further, I'm not going to assist and rescue you from the trouble that you've got yourself in. So I would step away from the ledge and say, I can't go any further. That's the discipline and the moral foundation that I had from my parents. And that's what parents have to make sure. They have to stay connected, stay involved, stay engaged, and they have to make sure that the system is working for their kids. We implemented an $85 million high school in Inglewood, a brand new state-of-the-art high school from the Chicago Public Schools, because 93% of the elementary school students eligible to attend high school in Inglewood was leaving the community to go to Whitney, to go to Kenwood, Simeon, South Shore, other high schools outside of the neighborhood, because they didn't feel the high schools that was there was equipped to elevate their kids to the next level. So we made sure the parents supported it, the community supported it. So we made sure we had to put something equivalent at the high school level where these kids were advancing at the elementary school level. And that's where parent engagement and parent involvement came into play to make sure that we could have easily put that school in Chinatown, because Chinatown students, 90% of their students were getting 9s on the state 9. So it wouldn't have been a problem. They had 95 attendance rates at their elementary school. It wouldn't have been a problem or any issues putting that high school in Chinatown, because the data showed that they deserved it, but the need was at the Inglewood community. And so that's when you say parent engagement, parent involvement, civil engagement, when you're teaching parents to be leaders, to be engaged, to be involved, and stand up and help support the communities. There's a thing known as the 40 developmental assets developed by the Search Institution, the 40 developmental assets. This speaks to 40 attributes of a child or that a person needs to be successful in life. It talks about time management, culture, neighborhoods. A lot of people, middle class, upper class people, they look, when they have a child from birth to the completion of college, they're looking to spend $1 million investing in that child. The home that they live in, the neighborhood that they live in, the schools that their children attend, the resources that they provide their children, the college that they send their kids to. They're looking at $1 million investment for their child from birth to the graduation of college to be successful. And this isn't, kids aren't getting credit cards in their names. The parents are making sure that they're providing the credit foundation for their kids. When their kids graduate from college, they're getting condos and buildings in their names, because you know what they're doing? They're saving their children's credit and their children's wealth for their grandchildren. So you as a person is going to have your portfolio for your child, and then the next child, and so on and so on. And so on.
They got that from us. That's in the biblical. That's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, not to go biblical. But your inheritance should be left for your grandkids, so that your kids don't sell the store and sell the house and ride off into the sunset and kill themselves with the money, swallowing pills and drinking lean and stuff. But let's back it up a little bit. What about those cats? You know, as a silverback gorilla, and that's spelled like guerrilla warfare. So, and we call you silverback because we want our silverback. So as a silverback big homie gorilla, what advice would you give to a little homie, a younger gorilla with limited resources, who don't have those types of parents that you're talking about and mentors, and they sitting there in it, man? Like, you know, you were blessed, bro. You know, if you got one person, man, you blessed, you know, and people don't realize that if you got one person that's going to keep you out that foster system, that's going to, you know, make sure you go get signed up for school and make sure you do your lessons. So what advice are you going to give to one of them who might be listening right now, man, and don't have that?
Yeah, I mean, this is an excellent question because I don't have to speak of this in hypothetical terms because I lived it. When I 76 in Phillips in Chicago, they called it Terror Town. They told you don't turn your back to the streets because you can be kidnapped and shot. I was a director of a youth center right on that corner for 7 years. And so I had students that came to me on a daily basis, Mr. Pender, I'm not going to college because I don't have the academic foundation to survive college because I'm a sophomore in high school reading at a 5th grade level. I'm not going to high school because I'm a 6th grader reading at a 1st grade level. So that's like putting a doctor in a courtroom to litigate a murder case, or putting a lawyer in a brain surgery to perform brain surgery. They don't have the skill sets to accomplish that. So these young men and some young women were coming to me like, I'm not going because I'm not equipped to survive. And the only thing that you can do is be an encouraging force to these folks to let them know that education is the great equalizer. You have to find some type of trade programs to introduce these young folks to get them some support of, because everyone isn't equipped for college. So the CTE programs that Chicago Public School provides, some folks may pick up a trade that may help save them.
Remember, you're talking to the kid. You're literally talking to the kid right now that might hear this tape. So what now you 9, 10, 12, you over there in the projects listening to this. You're talking to the young brother or sister, man. Like, so you're saying
so I'm
value your education, go to school, value your education, right?
Yeah, this is the great equalizer. Staying in school is pretty much, in my opinion, your only option to survive what you're gonna have to face in the world. So whether you do it at a trade level, whether you do it at a college level, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, your mentors, connect with someone at a youth center, someone in the school that's gonna invest and put the time in to find you some level of support that's going to help save you and get you on a path of success at whatever level. And I have principals on the YouTube watching this right now that have actually lived these situations. So, the young 10-year-old, 15-year-old young lady or young male that's listening to this show, don't give up on yourself. If you don't have it at home, you don't have it within your family, connect with someone in school. Don't be ashamed to let folks know exactly what level you at. Make sure people are meeting you at the level that you are. If you are a sophomore in high school and you have a 5th grade reading level, make that be known, because we're gonna have to support you and help you where you are. And make sure you're having conversations with your principals, you're having conversations with your counselor, and you're making sure whatever tax dollars are coming out of your household is being utilized as a resource for you, because you're gonna have to find your way. Because I feel it's more valuable to spend 12 hours in a computer lab working on a paper at a college level than standing on a corner selling drugs for 12 hours. Now, that's my personal opinion. And I know other people have their opinion, but I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna show you, I got it for you. It's politics as usual. I'm gonna show you the shirt right here. It's politics as usual. That's what's existing everywhere. So you have to, as a young adult,
we call it bigotry as usual here at the Self Love Show. But go ahead, bro. Bigotry.
Same synonym. Same synonym. As a young adult, connecting with some resource, ensuring that you're getting some support on the right, whether it's a coach, it's a counselor, it's a principal, it's a teacher. But be honest with what your circle is, what doesn't exist, what it needs, and try your best not to give up on your academic platform, because it's gonna make a world of difference. It's done it for me. I profess to that. It's the great equalizer. Education is the great equalizer, in my opinion.
So one thing I'm hearing to any shorty out there is, keep your head up, value your education over anything. Value education. Don't be too proud to go out there and ask for help. We're a community. Reach out to an administrator Notice he didn't say a teacher right away. He said an administrator. You know, they have a different level of training. Reach out to an administrator. Reach out, to a pastor. People of this nature, reach out. And people are there to help you. Unfortunately, we're in a time, you're growing up in a time where other adults can't really just guide you. I don't want to say out of fear, but out of concern for reproach. So you're going to have to approach, these places that are already set up. You have to do something. Don't just sit around and sit there and sulk. I'm going to add one thing to this, bro. We all talk education. And here's one thing I'm going to add. Be the best in your education. So if you're at a bad, piss poor school, what have you, and the other kids are, and you're testing the worst, be the best at that piss poor school. Be the best.
And to your point, what I like to add is just utilize everything as a learning experience. My dad was a Muslim. I went to Catholic school all my life. My mom was a Baptist. I used every aspect of every religion that I encountered as a history lesson. So I went to the mosque. I went to Catholic church. I went to Baptist church. I used all of these platforms as a history lesson. I learned and educated myself from every point of view. I listened to Farrakhan. I listened to Catholic priests. I listened to Baptist priests. And these were educated. I was sitting in church like I was in a lecture. I was 11 years old at the Armory on 55th, hearing Farrakhan on Savior's Day. I wasn't ashamed to get that knowledge. I utilized all of it as knowledge and growth and experiences. And it's helped me tremendously throughout my life, because you can put yourself in any circle and have a conversation. You have to be well-rounded about a multitude of things.
Absolutely.
You took the words out of my mouth. Facts, kids. If you're going to go to a drill concert and this, that, and the third, man, bounce into a church or something every now and then once this is all for, go check out the minister and Savior's Day. I mean, do something to get some different type of information and put yourself around some different types of people. Opt in to the information. Let me just shoot through this chat real quick, because we got some good stuff, some great stuff in here. Yvette Moore says, key word is to invest in your child. Good stuff, Kareem. So proud of you. Gerald Morrow says we must invest in the children. Dory Collins says real talk, education equals survival. Janice W., you have to help the parents. Now, this is what I like. You have to help the parents. What are the family needs? If you help the family, it will help the child. Wraparound services. And I'm going to throw that to you, Kareem, because we like to throw around these African, proverbs. We'll say, take a tribe, it takes a tribe, it takes a tribe. And then as soon as one of ours, as we call them here on the Self Love Show, one of our extremists, we don't really call them thugs and things of this nature. I'm learning from the pink people. Big ups to the pink people. So when one of our extremists does something that's out of bounds, we're quick to say, parents. Well, at what point does it not become a reflection on the entire tribe? What would you say to that?
I think it's a must for us as a community, as a tribe, to make sure that we're supporting the whole of our growth and our development. And when you receive knowledge, don't be selfish, man. And unfortunately, Chicago has been the town of haters for too much, especially within the African-American community.
Wow.
And if you know of a good program, a good educational program that you as a principal, I'm going to just use an example as a principal, it's worked well in your school, share that with your colleagues. If you know some, as a parent, it's not a mystery or a miracle that a kid gets a 36 on the ACT, a perfect score, or 1,600 on the SAT. There are kids who are studying for 5-6 years from 6th grade, 7th grade. They're in ACT prep programs, SAT prep programs, where they're studying for 5 and 6 years. If you study for one test for 5 and 6 years and you get a perfect score, that's not surprising. But share those resources with your colleagues, with your friends, with the community, and make sure that this is helping as a whole. We are only as strong as our weakest link. So don't have your kids sit there with a 35 on the ACT knowing since 7th grade, you sent them to a preparatory program. They took the test as a junior, they get a 35, and you've watched this parent and this kid not see the test not one time, and that kid comes and get a 14 or a 15 because they haven't had time management, they haven't developed best practices, they haven't had any skill sets developed in them to be prepared to take that test. So share the knowledge that you have, share the resources that you have. Don't continue to allow the African-American community, specifically in Chicago and across the nation, to be a town of haters. Invest in your community and your friends and your family. Don't be a family member where all your kids are graduating from college and you seeing your brothers and sisters' kids failing and not doing anything. If you know of resources and supports that can help them, share that knowledge. Invest that back into the community, financially as well. If you know of some great investments, share the financial knowledge as well, because we have to eliminate this town of haters that exists in Chicago and specifically across the country with Black communities.
Hey, listen, Noop, I'm totally biased. Whatever they're paying you, you need a raise, bro. Somebody like as passionate as you are, bro, about our community and about education, as well versed. You built for this, and I'm saying this from the chest, bro. And I mean it. Like you know, me and DX, we don't like to use should. I got that from him because it's a judgment. But I feel like you should be in charge of this somewhere, out in front, speaking on behalf of this. And I feel like the Silverbacks and the Black men would listen to you in your charge, Nope. And that's real talk right there. You have a way of conveying this message of education that needs to be out there, bro. And I feel like you're built for it, Nope. So big ups to you and also your family, your ancestors. Big ups, bro. I want to jump into the foundational questions, and we're going to shoot through that real quick. Take about 10 minutes. And these are the Self-Love Foundation questions. What's your take on reparations? What's your take on reparations?
I think reparations is a necessity to what's I don't want to use the word what's owed to African American families and communities. I feel like it's what we should demand from the government. And this is I've told you I had a Baptist side, a Catholic side, and a Muslim side to myself. This is my Muslim side. We demand that the United States government provides the reparations for the work and the effort that we've put into building this country.
Atonement.
It's absolutely ridiculous when you see presidents invest, and nothing against other cultures or other communities, but presidents investing so much in folks that are not even citizens of this country because they need resources and they need things as well, but overlooking who actually built this country. 100%. It's no question about it. It's not debatable. So it's not something that we need to say, let's put together some structures on how we're gonna devise divvying these funds out, or who gets it, or who should receive it. We didn't do that when we sent out these stimulus checks. They put together, okay, you make $160,000 or you make $80,000. They put some parameters around that. But at the end of the day, African American families have suffered in this country for 400 years because of slavery, and no president, no time in history has a government looked to raise a bill or raise a policy to help support. And I'm not talking about welfare, anything like that, because that helps all poor Americans. But I'm saying specifically looking at the African American plight in this country and saying educationally, financially, it is our charge to make sure we create an equal platform. And don't give me any talk about when they've created affirmative action. That's not the answer. That's not equitable stances or policies that's gonna make sure that African Americans are brought up to par. Because if you look at affirmative action, when we were at U of I, at the height of African Americans attending college back in the late 80s and the early 90s, U of I had 50,000 students, including graduate students. 10% was African Americans. So 5,000 of those students were African Americans. The majority of them, that's still 40,000 students were whites. So don't come to me and say affirmative action has created an equal playing field, because it has not. You look in every category of achievement, academic achievement in Chicago and pretty much across the country, the African American male is last in every category. Graduation rate, grades, promotion to the next grade, the African American male is at the lowest. Who's going to provide the resources that's needed within these households and the reparations that's needed within these households to help support this issue totally? It's a charge to the American government to do it.
Hey man, facts, bro. Hey man, facts, bro.
And I because of my CPS position, I held back on some things, but folks know what's the truth out here.
Well, yeah, and we are on YouTube's platform, and I appreciate you holding back on some things, bro. It's a public, and we got us a warning. We got our warning from YouTube. So, and someone typed in the chat something about the creator that I really don't want to get into because I'm afraid to talk about it, but big ups to you, and big ups to you for typing that in the chat. I would read it, but I don't want the bots to flag this, and start listening to it. They y'all think I'm making this up. I'm not, but we'll work our way through this. All right, bro, before we take a quick video break for everybody to stretch their legs, I want to ask you a question that's important to us. It's part of our More Growth and Development program that we haven't yet added to our platform. It's going to be number 10, and it's related to our women. What can Black men do to protect our women from being murdered, kidnapped, sex trafficked at an extremely inordinate pace to any other race in comparison?
Yeah. So in my opinion, the first thing we have to do is we have to listen to our women, because women in every aspect of what they deliver at the origin, for the most part, a good woman, she's going to be honest, and she's going to tell you the truth about where she is in her life as far as relationships, where she is in her profession, what she's looking to strive for, what she's looking to build in her circle and in herself. So what we have to do is we have to first listen, and we have to provide the supports that they are requesting, not just the supports that we want to provide, but the supports that are being requested. Because if the woman tells you that she likes red roses, don't bring no white flowers. Listen to what the woman is saying, include, don't have her walk, behind you. Don't have her walk below you. Have her walk side by side with you. And at the end of the day, if you are establishing yourself as king and she is your queen, the first counsel to the king is his queen, the woman. So we have to listen to them. We have to help provide the resources that they're requesting, not just the resources that we want to provide. And we have to make sure that our position is to provide and protect. And we also have to make sure that we're developing the plan with them. So if you're developing a relationship with a woman and she's saying she wants a house, you have to be honest and say, okay, you want a house. My money may only be able to pay $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a house. If she wants a car, my money may only be able to pay a $500 car note a month. We have to be honest with our women about where we are where we stand, and you can't try to keep up with the Joneses, because when you're developing a strong, solid household, you have to have these conversations early on. You cannot be arrogant, you cannot be conceited, and you cannot look at yourself as you're gonna just take over her. She has a voice, and you have to, number one, as a man, you have to look at the woman as a person first. Because lots of times when we just look at them just as women, then we're looking at them below us and beneath us. But when we're looking at them as a person and we're treating them as a person, we're looking at them at an equality level, and we're engaging with them at an equality level. And now you're looking at the professionalism at women. We have a woman mayor. We have a Black woman mayor, a Black lieutenant governor. We have a Black woman that's the head of CPS, a Black woman that's the head of the water reclamation department. We have about 11 positions in this city and in this state that's being led by African-American women. That speaks volumes to their professionalism and to their abilities on what they're capable of doing. So if we're looking to protect someone, we have to listen to what their needs are, what their values are. And we have to make sure that we're implementing a joint, congruent plan, not just our plan and how we see things.
Bro, man, big ups. Real quick, we got like 30 folks watching, and thanks for your support of this brother here, Kareem Pender. He's been in education over 20 years. If you're watching this on your phone, if you want to get into the live chat, there's a live chat icon right in the center. Let's see, that's Kareem. Probably shouldn't have turned it. So there's a live chat icon. Can you see that, Tori? The live chat? Is it too bright?
It's bright, but put a little closer.
So there's a live chat
there. Yep.
Yeah, and if you tap that, that'll get you into the chat, because a lot of folks don't know that. And if you're not getting those options, you just have to sign up for YouTube and, just give them your email. It's no cost. It's no cost to subscribe to TATN as well. So we ask if you can hit this thumbs up. That's also on the outside, because that's going to trick the algorithm. It's going to get some more folks in here to take advantage of this content, not just the folks that Brother Wordsmith and Brother Pender and myself have invited, or any one of you. So if you guys could just take a quick second to do that, we greatly appreciate it. And we're here with Kareem Pender. If you want to contact him for any reason, you can reach him, email him at K like Kappa, V like Victor, Pender at cps.edu. You can also reach him on LinkedIn at Kareem Pender, and that's Kareem as in money, Pender, Kareem Pender. We're going to be opening the phone lines. We're going to take a short 5-minute break, but we got a great video that we're going to play. Please don't walk away, but we're going to open the phone lines. Our phone line number to call in for questions or comments for this brother, if you want to just say, hey, great job, or you were my teacher and I wanted to punch you in your face, and whatever it is, we're about that. Call in at 424-900-6945. That's troll free. That's right, troll free. 424-900-6945. Standard rates and messages will apply. Right after the short break, that particular phone line will be open. Brother Pender, did you have anything to add real quick before we do our thing here?
Yeah, just want to make sure that I'm getting all the acknowledgments out. My big sister Shantae is on the line. I really want to thank her. She was a guiding force in my life. Taught me how to drive. Taught me how to drive at 14. She took me out early on and allowed me to drive. So she taught me many life lessons. And to that question about protecting women and making sure that, our women are safe. She was one of my first teachers about how to treat women and engage with women with respect. And we don't always get it right throughout our life, but just making sure that we are, thoroughly understanding as a male how to respect. It's so key and critical of our respect to our women in this day and age, man. And just like I said, starting off, treat them as a person And you know, there's a lot of folks on this line that contributed to my growth and my upbringing, and that has helped establish me where I am. I have tremendous growth in social service and in the governmental life and the educational life, and just my growth and my upbringing from 3919 South Federal, the last red building, all the way to the governor's mansion at times throughout this throughout this state and across the nation. My fraternity brothers, my line brothers that I pledged with down at U of I. I want to give a big major shout out to the Greater Beta chapter in Kappa Alpha Psi. My dean, Steve Beard, these two brothers, my clubs that's on the line. Kappa Alpha Psi set me on the path. The moment I entered college, I pledged as a freshman.
They're gonna have to stay to the end of the show to get their big ups. Okay. All right, we say the big ups for the end of the show. All right, we appreciate that. And if anybody wants to hear their big ups, we expect you to stay to the end of the show, and then we'll all big up shit. You know what I mean? Nobody gets their big ups, you know, because you know how us black folks can be. Once we eat, you know, get our big ups. Well, I hate to tell you, I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta work. I gotta do stuff. Hey, but Self Love's about to do his thing, and we'll see you shortly, good brother. Stretch your legs, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you more, brother.
Yes. We're at halftime, y'all. It's halftime. It's been an invigorating and special conversation. Just like I saw it, but you know, it's greater. It always exceeds my expectation. This is a treat, as all this education series has been thus far. Immaculate, and this is no different. So we're gonna check out a couple videos, you know, then we'll be right on back. Oh, it's halftime. Got out of line. So it's gonna be shortly.
Share, subscribe. Let's get them in here. Enjoy this video. We will be back with Kareem Pender, and he's dropping jewels. We're going to shift into the next segment, which is going to be education. We're going to talk about his craft. We're going to talk about what we're all here for.
Absolutely. Expansion upon this game.
That is correct. And we're looking for the Milana Jackson.
Yeah, it's the when I got out of line, I didn't get back in alignment. So this is all.
And you guys, the call-in number is 424-900-6945, 424-900-6945. Please have your questions ready for the brother. That's 424-900-6945. That's troll free.
Absolutely troll free. I'm back in alignment.
Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
He's just always so high. Yeah, I really hope I win because, wait, what is this again?
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
Big ups Milana Jackson. Y'all go watch American Skin. She was in American Skin from Chicago off 7 Trey and Stony. Well, let me ask you, what advice or information would you give to your 9-year-old self? You know, if you're grown and you over there in Robert Taylor's and you see yourself and you grown like you are now, what bit of information or what would you say? What would you say to your 9-year-old self?
I would say to my 9-year-old self that I need to do one thing. And that one thing would be to get me a dictionary. That dictionary would be my cell phone. It'd be my iPhone. It'd be my Android. It'd be my vitamin. It'd be my basketball court. It'd be my baseball diamond and my football field. Don't mean that I couldn't be doing those other things. It'd be my blunt. It'd be my black and mild. But I would get me a dictionary and I would read it. I wouldn't read it as a chore. I would read it for fun because I would want what I'm reading to digest into my cells and into my bones. And then when I start to articulate and when I start to speak and when I start to act, you will see that understanding of putting my life and myself into that dictionary. You will see it in the actions of my life. And then you will see how it take shape and form based on how I understand and interpret things around me as far as words, conversations, symbols, and shenanigans.
Previously. So that's how important like the roots of words and origins is to you, Pat Pender.
It's how important it is to everybody. They just don't know it. Without words, the three of us wouldn't be able to commune and flow like we're doing right now. The understanding that we have of words and of each other, it wouldn't flow if we'd have had a union that we had. And this union go all the way back to 92 at the Beta chapter and the KH chapter. So bringing it up to the now, not only am I communicating with you in self-love with words, but I'm communicating with y'all with spirit. I'm sitting in y'all place where y'all at right now with y'all. See, we're gonna really go there tonight. That's what education is. That's what life is. See, people sick and they dying and they hurt and they messed up because they not bringing what I just described to life in their own cipher. I made those things knowledge born. I made knowledge born to say that I'm sitting with y'all where y'all at right now. And that's real. I know y'all could feel that because I could feel it. And when we start thinking on those levels, that it confining our.
We're about to get into it whenever he starts dropping God's consciousness. Yeah, whenever he starts talking God's consciousness, this happens.
Yeah, but I know what he mean because there's no space in time. There's really, it's all an illusion. Yeah, me and Mills commune every day. Every day we commune, so we're together all the time. Even though he's in L.A. or not L.A.
Well,
Inglewood.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Say,
be specific, and and I'm in South Shore. You know what I mean? So
no doubt.
Yeah, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling that.
So for anybody who might be wondering or who just joined the live, we're here with Brother Patrick Pender, and he's the 25-year educator.
You ready?
National Teacher of the Year recipient, but just down, brother, all the way up and down, through and through. If you're looking for, and we'll get into his program later, but he is the founder and operator of Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program. It's a Saturday and Sunday program, which Self Love and I have discussed the necessity for Saturday schools.
Absolutely.
Top NWEA, ACT, SA.
Welcome back.
I'ma show the world what they don't know. I'ma be the one.
I'ma be the one.
When I'm done. Higher if I made it this far.
Higher if I made it this far. I can
already
make it
know, baby.
I know that's how Kareem be feeling. This far, I can go anywhere.
Anywhere. And that's how we are, baby. We're here with the Self Love Show. We're sitting with Kareem Pender.
Yo.
Our brother. Great inspiration. And he's putting it down for real. And we're going to get into next level of questions, the next round of education. And we know how it's gonna go. It's gonna grow. The whole Self Love Nation. My brother, thank you again.
Yes, sir. Hey, big up to Trifo, boy. Hey, he from Hogel Gardens with this one, boy. I'ma be the one when I'm done. 9,999 subscribers. Let's get it in, y'all. Make sure y'all click the sub. It won't cost you no money. And we're here with Brother Kareem Pender. That was his brother on that last segment. And so I thought that was apropos because we're about to shoot into education theory, education science, education art, that kind of thing, where his bread is buttered, how he stuffs money in the bag, things of this nature. And so that's part of what we do here, because what we're going to do, Brother Pender, is we're going to chop up this video into shorter segments like the one you just saw with your brother. And so we'll be able to get this out and have some analytical data, and hopefully, prayerfully, we could help at least one soul, because we're doing this brick by brick, brother, brick by brick. So here we go. We're going to jump into the professional life. And if you guys have any questions, the phone lines are open. Have at it. 424-900-6945. If one of the blue jackets can type that number into the chat, that number is 424-900-6945. If you have a blue jacket, you're more than a fan. You are more than a fan if you have a blue jacket. Come on. Come on if you got a blue jacket. I mean, come on. All righty? Come on. All right, 424-900. Most of them are noobs. All right, so here we go. All right. We're going to jump right into it. Define education. Tell us about its origin and the purpose.
Education for me is a system, structure, and process of learning all is, all was, and all shall be for your foundational growth throughout life. The purpose of education is to advance you on any stage, in any arena, in any level that you're presented in within your life. The purpose of education is for you to learn as much as you can from whoever you can, and to share that out with as many folks as you can across your journey throughout this life. So when you look at the Bible, as some folks think it's an acronym for basic instructions before leaving Earth, and you explore and study the Bible, and some people look at it as a history book, and they educate themselves on the experiences of the Bible into lessons as they travel throughout life. So when you're having a conversation with whomever, someone in the sports arena, someone in the academic arena, someone in a comedy arena, you're educating yourself in any and every conversation that you have. And many people, even in what society deems as negative or detrimental aspects of life, gangs, selling drugs, going to jail, folks are educated in those arenas. When you're in a gang, you're learning your laws, you're learning policies, and you're learning rules. You're being educated. Even when you're selling drugs, you're learning how to break down a key. You're learning how to break down a pound. When you're standing on a corner selling bags and you're weighing your drugs, you're being educated throughout that process. Not that I condone that as a positive thing, but I'm saying it's still a form of education. When you're in prison, you're educated on how to survive and the policies and the rules in prison. So every arena, every process that you associate yourself in, you're gaining, you should be gaining, you should be receiving, and you should be making sure that you're being educated in that system and in that process. Now, what you do with that education is based upon who you are as a person. So in my opinion, the greatest thing that God has given us is the power, is free will, the power to choose to do something. So you can choose to be a murderer for 30 years of your life, and then you can wake up and say, I don't want to be a murderer anymore. Not that I condone that, but I'm saying that's the power you have and what you can choose. So choose to be positive, choose to educate yourself in every arena, every conversation that you have. Ask a billion questions. Don't sit there and feel as though you're ashamed or embarrassed not to know. Because what we are taught as African Americans, we're taught to learn through fear. And we're taught to don't ask questions if you don't know something because you're ashamed or you're embarrassed not to know. Well, how else would you ever learn? We're taught that you got to go to summer school. You have to go to summer school because you failed. Some cultures and some communities go to summer school to get ahead. We're not taught to do that until we get to college. You go to summer school in college, you take additional classes to get ahead to graduate in 3.5 years or to be on track to graduate in 4 years. But when you're in elementary school and high school, you're only allowed to go to summer school when you failed something or when you haven't achieved. So if you, once again, going back to the parent engagement and parent involvement, if you have the right parents, the right structure, they're going to put you in academic settings over the summer so you can be advanced and prepared for the next school year. If you're taking divisions or fractions, they're going to make sure you get that tutoring over the summer. You're reading the book list ahead of going to 5th and 6th grade, so you're well prepared. So educate yourself in every conversation, every discussion, every arena that you're in.
Can you be educated without doing? Can you learn without doing?
You can, but in my opinion, it's only self-growth. So if you've been educated on a particular process or procedure or a particular subject, you may have the knowledge, but if you don't implement that, you are wasting your talents. You're wasting your skill. You're wasting the best practices of implementation. So you may be able to, you may be taught coaching procedures from Coach K, Bobby Knight, Phil Jackson. But if you never become a coach and you never utilize those coach knowledge that you received, you'll waste the talent, in my opinion.
So, Noop, what I'm asking is, if when you came around to the beta Noops, without being too esoteric, and turned in all your information and everything, if I were able to give you a point by point breakdown and sat you down in a classroom and told you everything, close your eyes and think, don't talk, but just think about everything that was going to happen. And so now you learned it, you read it in a book, and I gave you tests on it, and would you have learned? Would you have gotten the education that you got? I mean, it's philosophical. I'm not saying it's a right or wrong answer, and
right. I guess
why we have educators in front of us.
Yeah, you've gotten the knowledge. You've learned the knowledge, but if you've taken the test, you've passed the test, you became a member of the fraternity, and you never reciprocated that to bring other brothers in or to educate them or to inform them of how to go through the process, and you're not sharing this knowledge, you're not passing this knowledge on, you're not each one teaching one, then to me, in my opinion, that's a waste.
Yeah, like Funk telling, a kid every aspect of basketball theory, as opposed to getting that kid out there on the court and having that kid do it. This is what I'm saying. This is
you got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it. So,
do it.
So just if you can tell us if there are how many opportunities are there for Black men in education? And I mean, specifically like with CPS or with the Board of Education.
It's a complex situation for African American males in CPS. It's the greatest need is for African American males to be involved, because as I mentioned earlier, the population that's not exceeding is the African American male. So a 14, 15-year-old is going to react differently when you have an Anthony Mills or a Torrey Smith or Kareem Pender standing in front of him, educating him, as opposed to when you have some other cultures or some other genders educating and informing him. So the need for African American males to be part of CPS as teachers, as administrators, as principals, as chiefs is high, but the percentage that is actually there in those positions, in those arenas, is not. It does not exist at the level, in my opinion, that it should. And I think that this current administration has done a much better job in looking to invest in that. But I think that there's a lot more work that needs to be done at the ground level in recruiting African American males to become teachers, the ones that are teachers, developing a platform for them to become administrators, principals, and leaders, and mentoring them through this process. So that does exist on some level, but I definitely think that it needs to occur much more. And, because African American males, they learn different in Chicago, man. They're confronted with so many trials and tribulations across this city that other cultures and other genders aren't hit with. Right. And so, that has to be factored in, and that has to be accounted for. So when you're speaking about, a 15-year-old that's coming out of certain communities and dealing with certain situations, they may not have the easier road paved for them to be academically successful, to be socially successful, because in growing up in the projects, we were taught certain things as survival. Man. And society does not look at these attributes as of any value moving into certain arenas, but you darn sure needed that to survive where you were at.
Man, like minding your business, keeping to yourself. It's a lot of stuff that, it comes off the wrong way, especially as a Black man, if you're rolling like that, okay. What skill or degrees is necessary for someone to pursue a career as a teacher and then as an administrator?
So you go high school, college, you go get your teacher degree. You got to become certified as a teacher. Your degree in education. You have to do your student teaching process, and then you land a teaching position. As an administrator, you have to go get a Type 75 certification to become a principal, master's degree preferred. And then many of them go on to their PhD, or they participate in leadership programs. So there are certain levels of certifications that you need to become a teacher, and certain levels of certifications that you need to become a principal. And once you've obtained those, there's also work experience that you have to gain as an assistant principal. And then to get on a principal's list, you have to be interviewed through a process within CPS to get on a principal. If you're on the principal's list, to be interviewed to actually obtain a principal's position.
Okay, dope. Appreciate that. What advice do you have for a young silverback that's gotten all of those qualifications? Just got certified, obviously graduated from college, Black silverback, of course. Starting out with CPS. Any advice you have for them?
If you're specifically an African American male teacher, and Correct. You're starting out as a teacher within CPS, make sure you research, and you connect with an African American male principal. And if you can't find an African American, you can connect with an African American female principal, and you find you a mentor that's going to help mentor you through the system and through the process, that's going to give you proper direction to leading to, if you have a desire to be an administrator, to put you on the right path and the right process of gaining, becoming a principal within CPS. And then you learn about the proper programs, the leadership programs. There are a number of quality leadership programs with the University of Chicago, with UIC, other institutions that you can get yourself engaged in that's going to put you on the right path and right process to advance your career, not only as you're getting teacher experience, but you're being part of the right programs and the right institutions to catapult you to an administrative level at a principal's level. And so once you become a principal, then you find a network chief that you can become mentored through, that possibly can help you gain a higher level of administrative position as a deputy chief or a network chief further on in your career. But in addition to that, what's becoming very prevalent throughout Chicago and the nation, you have to connect with community organizations. You have to connect with legislators throughout the city, because your growth process is not only within your school or within your community, but it's also with the organizations around your school, with the clergy around your school, with the parents and the community members within your school. Because being a principal at a school is much more than just managing what's inside the building. You have to also manage the external relationships outside of the building. So you have to develop resources from businesses within the community, as well as get the clergy involved in the part. And you have to utilize these organizations as kind of like your cabinet. They need to advise you on what proper structures and systems that you put in place that's going to help you connect to these families that you're having degrees of difficulty with, and catapulting certain students to advance in the education process. Because you or your assistant principal may not have a good relationship with a parent, and their child may not be doing well academically in your school, but that pastor may have a good relationship with that family, and they may be able to assist you in developing a better relationship to getting the student resources that they need to be successful. So it's going way beyond just, professional development for your teachers, for your administrators. It's also bringing the parents in and making sure that they're part of parent advisory councils, they're part of local school councils, and bringing the community in to be a part of helping them. As we talk about, it takes a village, helping them evolve in what's going to establish a well-to-do community school. Because the students that are going to the Whitney Youngs, the Northside Preps, and the Walter Paytons, they're showing up like that. They're showing up to those schools with the skill sets and the best practices instilled in them from grade school and from their household. But these community schools,
you usually had that by the fourth grade. But go ahead, fourth, fifth grade. Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
The community schools needs the intangible resources from the churches, from the community organizations, from the businesses, from the parents to be successful all around in the development of the relationships and communicating with the engagement of the student as a whole. Because you need businesses to bring in internships. You need clergy to bring in monetary resources as additional to other organizational resources. And we have this thing in Chicago Public School called the Community Action Council. It's not amongst 9 communities across Chicago, where these community action councils are made up of clergy members, community members, parents, business members, legislators that come together to develop resources for the schools within their community. We have PACs, parent advisory councils. There's federal dollars that are given to these Title I federal dollars that are given to these parent advisory councils that develop parent leadership trainings specifically to help educate parents on how to help advance their child's academics at home. Our local school councils that governs the principal and the school budget. So all of these organizations are where parents, community members, business members, clergy can become involved in the growth and the development of the school system within their communities and neighborhoods. We can't hear you, Mills.
You muted. You muted.
My bad. Appreciate you. I know you indicated a couple times that, you know, our upbringing can sometimes be a crucible, you know, in our upward mobility. But I want to kind of flip that coin. How have you been able to manage to be able to use your South Side, your low end, your PJ upbringing, or the Jets, as we say in Chicago? How do you think that that's helped you in your profession?
Okay. So before I answer the question, let me go to the statement that you stated as far as it being a crucible to our growth and development. So when you have a young man in certain low economic communities that's so excited about a young man or a young woman that's so excited about what they learned in school at an 8th grade level or sophomore level, and they see their uncle and their dad or their mom and their aunt at the house, and they want to share this knowledge out with them, and they are decimated by the response that they receive from some of their family members on, you know, what you sitting up there talking about that school information for? That ain't gonna get you nowhere. You need to be on the corner making some money, or you need to be, you know, part of this gang or doing this sort of activity, because that father or that uncle or that mother or that aunt, they may only have a 5th grade school education, or they may not have great experiences within school.
They may have been on a short bus. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're going to be negative towards the knowledge and the growth
Facts.
of that young man or that young woman, and that's going to demoralize the learning that they've received
Facts.
that day and in the future. And they feel embarrassed or ashamed to share out what they've learned, and they look at school as a detriment within their household because they're not getting praise and accolades for the knowledge that they're receiving within school. And it defeats their character, and it defeats their desire to grow within this educational arena. So in my experience, I always received praise from my parents, my family members. It was tough, but my mother, I remember 7th, 8th grade, I got 105 on a math test. And my mother was like, how much was the test worth? And I was like, 110 with extra credit. She said to me, what happened to the other 5 points? Right. Now, I looked at that as a motivation to get all I can get, to be all I can be. And so, you know, when you get that level of encouragement and that level of motivation and that level of investment, then you want to go out and achieve. I remember a quote from Antoine Walker. I was in a circle of friends with his before, and Antoine Walker stated that what you need to be a successful Mount Carmel player, played at the University of Kentucky, played for Boston, played NBA player. He said, what you need in your circle around you, in your family, is you need 1000% encouragement and positivity and support to be the best that you can be, to make it to the NBA, to make it as a doctor, to make it as a lawyer. And when you're getting that, even if you had a bad game, you got a bad grade on the test, someone is still there not to demoralize you, not to beat on you, to challenge you, to discipline you. Okay, maybe Antoine was told, get in the gym, not take 1,000 shots, but make 1,000 shots. So it might have taken 1,300 shots to make 1,000 to encourage him. But, you know, it was still a level of support, but not someone saying, oh man, Antoine, you only had 10 points that game. You got ripped 3 times. You're not going to make it. Give up.
Yeah, see, that is not love at all. No. Love is, you know, great job on the 10 points. It's not 0. You had more points than me, son. But, you know, if you work on your left hand, and I'm gonna send you some tapes and I'm gonna show you what to do. And that's what love is. That's that encouragement. And I heard something you said about being encouraged at home in the house. And that's something as a community, you brought it up earlier. We have an issue. We have an issue with that. You know, in my house, like my mom, she stressed education. You know, she stressed it. But if you got outside of that, my granddad was kind of like that. He would, you know, man, I'm at U of I, you know, granddad, you know, so what? Why aren't you there now? It's summertime. Well, you should be at school in class, taking class, you know, and what's your grades like? I got a 3.5. Why isn't it a 4.5? You know, so yeah. That being said, our community, We leave a lot on the table from that. What you were saying earlier, we leave a whole lot on the table when a kid is trying to express their love for knowledge and want to share this information, and they get shut down. If anybody's out there, there's a video up on TATN. It's called the Short Bus Theory. I've been working on some things, and I think we have the tail wagging the dog at this point, and that's by design. But we'll talk on another forum about that, bro. Let me ask you to the next question. What is who or what? Well, no, I want to go back. How have you used your South Side upbringing to propel you in your teaching? How's it helped you as opposed to held you back?
It helps me relate to the youth of today, the youth of some other generations. When I was a director of a youth center on 76 and Phillips, it was during the migration of the project. So some of the kids coming from the projects on State Street, they transitioned to living in South Shore. And so they were coming, South Shore was made up of the moles. And so I'm on 76 and Phillips working there. These were the moles. So they were bringing the GDs. And so there was some conflict amongst a lot of these guys coming from the projects, coming over to the South Shore community. And I told the guys coming from the projects, I'm like, I know I was Sandlot buddies with your uncles and your cousins. And, I started dropping some names, and they went back and did some history on me. And they came back and was like, Mr. Pender, yeah, we know about your family. We heard about, so-and-so, such and such, such. So this gave me some street cred to make sure that they were willing to listen to me. They were willing to respect and have a conversation with me on some of the direction I was trying to give them and staying in school and being part of some positive programs. Because without that, they would have just looked at me as a regular Joe Blow and was like, man, whatever this guy talking about, he don't know anything about where we came from. And, I told them, like, a lot of the young folks that felt as though they can't go off to college or they can't go to high school. And I told them I've lived in the projects. I've seen my friends that went to, certain schools where they weren't able to read. They weren't able to write. They weren't able to articulate as well as I was because of certain advantages I had with the schools that I had gone to and the parents that I had. And let me give a big shout out to my brothers and my sisters that helped me growing up, the foundation of what they taught me and encouraged me in the lesson, because that's key. When you have siblings, they've had the classes that you're taking and they're able to, help you navigate through some of the work. So when I was able to relate to these guys and really understand the foundation of why they were struggling academically and helping getting them some resources to where they were able to achieve, they felt more encouraged to go to high school from elementary school. They felt more encouraged to go off to college. I had an interesting story. I had two of my interns that were seniors at CPS. Now, both of these students scored about a 24 or 25 on the ACT coming out of CVS, and they couldn't get into U of I. I'm an alumni of U of I. They had 4.0 GPAs, and they had 24s and 25s on the ACT, and U of I denied them entry. I went to the admissions board at U of I and spoke on their behalf, and the admissions board at U of I told me their 4.0 at CPS is not the same value as a 4.0 at Naperville, Niles West, Homewood, Flossmoor, because the academics that was implemented on them at a Chicago public schools were not at the same level as what was taught to them at some of these suburban schools or some of these higher advanced schools. It was easy to get a 4.0 at CPS, and that they would not be able to handle the rigors of U of I. And I advocated hard, went to some African-American administrators at U of I, and eventually was able to get them in. Both of those students graduated U of I with an architecture degree, coming from CPS architecture program. But if it wasn't somebody like myself that was advocating to get them into U of I, they would have never gotten in based upon a stereotype that they were not equipped to handle U of I's academics.
And the standardized test.
Why don't long as you have some realistic dreams, Malcolm, maybe you can be a janitor or something like that. And big ups if that's how you making your bread. You know, we don't knock nobody's hustle as long as you ain't knocking nobody over the head. Hey, Noop, I want to, I've heard you mention it. I'm pretty sure I know the answer. But who or what is the most crucial component for a child's education?
Parents, parent engagement, parent involvement, a strong teaching system. I'm going to say number one, parent engagement, parent involvement, parent civil engagement. So it's not only the fact that the parent is engaged at home, but the parent is engaged at the school. The parent is being educated on the systems and the structures and the resources that's being provided to their children, as well as the parent is an advocate for additional resources and services. So join the LSC, the local school council, join the parent advisory council at your child's school, come and speak at the board meetings. If you feel something is going well at your child's school, we have monthly board meetings. Come speak at the board meeting, speak directly to the Chicago Public School Board and let them know what's working well. If you feel something isn't working well, come and speak at the board meeting. Be a civil advocate for the educational resources and structures for your children. And then the school system, the principals, the teachers. Some of us can think back to our most toughest teachers, the teachers that was heavy-handed on us. We loved them to death. The coaches that were heavy-handed on us. So you go from parents to school administrators and teachers, and then coaches and mentors, because some of our coaches have guided us through some of the most difficult times of our lives. And when we look back on that coach or that mentor and said that this is a person that I want to thank because they've helped support me, because some students did well because they had the sport that they played, because they were able to build camaraderie with their teammates. So that was a driving catalyst for them to show up to school every day. And we have to applaud that.
And you learn the ability of hard work through sports for all you parents out there, single moms. And what you're saying is that'll you normally get a child around a silverback. And research the coach does a child no good if the coach has never laced them up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be real with you, but what I'm saying
lead to some mentorship. You know what I mean?
Definitely, and it shows the value of hard work. What I learned through sports is someone telling you, believe in yourself, keep your head in there. You know, don't step out on that curveball. You know, practice it, go home, do it, and then you start hitting it, and you start ripping it, and you learn the value. And it's important to have that silverback telling you, you know, that you can do it, as this brother did, you know, told the university, these guys can do it, you can do it. And now they're architects and they're going to build something great. Watch, they're going to build something great before it's all done.
Brian Parker, I just want to interject on you. Brian Parker, once again, going back to Brian Parker, who's an educator, a coach. Brian and his practices, Brian would throw the ball at certain kids' heads that was acting up in the skills and drills training in the workshops. And he would tell them, we know for a fact, because you're a clown in practice, you're a clown in your classroom, you're a clown at home. Man. So all your behavior and your actions is transcendent. It ain't nothing new that you acting like a clown in the classroom, you acting like a clown at the gym, you acting like a clown. Man. And the ones that are
game time, and you're gonna be acting like a clown in the penitentiary. But go ahead, bro. Right. But that's how they talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah. And the ones that are behaving well and doing well in practice, doing well in school, doing well at home, we're not surprised of that.
Correct.
We're not surprised of that. And we look, I did a trip to China in 2013. I went to Shanghai and Beijing for 2 weeks, and I studied the Chinese academic and political system in Shanghai and Beijing for 2 weeks. And what I learned was the Chinese students, they have a love for learning, but the biggest thing about them is they don't want to disappoint their family. They don't want to disappoint their grandparents. They don't want to disappoint their parents. They don't want to disappoint their family name,
man.
That's their family name.
Of course.
And so they go to
get
school
a legacy out there.
It's a homogeneous society out
there. Yeah, the
They go to
legacy
school.
standards.
They go to school for 12 hours a day, but it's not as though they're in standardized class for 12 hours a day.
Right.
They do about 6 or 7 hours of standardized class, but they do about 5 to 6 hours of tutorial training where they're mastering their lessons after school. So it's mandatory that they stay after school for an additional 5 to 6 hours where they're mastering their algebra, they're mastering their geometry, they're mastering their literature, their science. So they're getting tutored, one-on-one tutoring or group tutoring on what they just learned in a classroom. So if the African-American culture can first take on, we don't want to embarrass our grandmother by being on the news for shooting and killing or being on the news for robbing. We don't want to say Kareem Pender is on the news for shooting and killing, and my grandmother is looking at this. My mother and my uncles, my family I've embarrassed my family name, from my activities. And before I pull that trigger, I'm thinking about how is this going to reflect upon my grandparents, my parents, my uncles, my aunts, my family name, when they show my mugshot. And how, when I don't graduate from elementary school and high school, how is this going to embarrass my family name? Because they get it in China.
Man, facts. Facts. I had to make sure I wasn't on mute. Let me just go through here real quick. I'm just sliding
homogeneous society. So, and we have to look at that no matter where we are and who we are, we have to look at ourselves as that. And we've been programmed in a lot of ways that is not that. It's disingenuous, in fact.
Yeah.
So
we have to put in, even at U of I, when we were going to the union parties on Fridays and Saturday nights, we were going to party and hang out and kick it. And we had the Asians in the computer labs, the Indians in the computer lab. They were still working. They weren't taking a social break or a party break. They were still working.
Let me tell you something. Out here, they're all over the basketball courts now. We're not even doing that anymore. So we got to be careful on just not doing nothing. I'm talking about the Asians out here in California. They out all over the basketball court. They're in the leagues. Their parents are paying them for the coaches, and they're taking that scholarship money. And while we, just parents have to stop being lazy. And I saw somebody put in the chat earlier and invest in their children. True or false? Chicago school teachers are grossly underpaid.
True. True. In
Go
my
ahead, bro.
personal opinion, and I know people are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, in my personal opinion, I think educators should be paid what athletes are paid. I think that they should flip the salary system, and educators should actually be paid what athletes and entertainers are paid. You would have a much more successful education system if you're paying educators millions of dollars as opposed to paying athletes and entertainers millions of dollars.
Well, with the way they print money, I say you can do both. You can pay the top educators the same way you pay the top athletes. You can pay the top police. The ones in the country who are great. You know what I mean? Yes, I like that. We can acknowledge them. I've always felt like the teacher should have been getting the money that CPD is getting. When they started doing that they were just throwing the money in the wrong place. Because more people would have chose to be teachers as opposed to policemen, and then they're teaching those children as opposed to arresting them and throwing them back into chattel slavery. Check the 13th Amendment. Small ups to YouTube. All right, hold on here. I want to get into the next one real quick, bro. Unless one of y'all had something there.
No, expansion is what we're all about, and it's going in that direction. And loving this conversation.
Man,
the Self Love
Show.
We got Kareem Pender here, and like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Man, let's elevate.
Mind elevation and expansion. We're fractals. True or false? Chicago. Chicago teachers are grossly undertrained. True or false?
I think they're not grossly undertrained, but I
Okay.
think that there can be a lot more invested in professional development for Chicago public school teachers. But in addition,
You're not knocking the teachers. You're not knocking it. You're not saying
not only that I'm not knocking the teachers. I think that that's something that you have to self-implement as well.
Right.
So in any profession, like you have to go seek out training and professional development that can make you better. It's not only on the district to provide that, but it's also on your individual self to give yourself what you need to be better at your occupation. So if you're a doctor, there are additional classes and additional trainings you can take, as well as a lawyer or a teacher. As an athlete, athletes pay hundreds of thousands of dollars outside of what they receive from practice and the workouts that they receive in the off season. They pay personal trainers to train them to build up their LeBron James $1 million a year. He pays to keep his body in shape. Players pay for skill development. So I think that if you are a teacher, don't only look for the district to provide the professional development, but you also reinvest in yourself on what professional development that will be helpful to you to help be the best you can be within your profession.
Okay. I want to ask you about reform schools, boarding schools, separating the quote, end quote, bad seeds from the other seeds. I know they have like alternative schools and things like that. I'm not in education. I'm just a citizen. So how do you feel about, we were talking about funding and paying teachers, rewarding the teachers at those alternative schools with that type of money and getting our best, most highly trained, the smartest teachers from the Howards, the U of I's, the Harvards, studied with Buffy, and I went to Harvard and I got 3 degrees. Why don't we put our best of the best in those? So speak on that a little bit.
You have some principals on the YouTube that's listening to this, and this is a topic that they would love to dive into, because they speak candidly about when they're doing teacher selection and they're doing interviews for teachers for open positions at some of the schools in the low economic communities. They don't ever get a chance to select the teachers from those top universities. Those teachers are always slated to some of our most higher performing universities. And so this is an issue not only in Chicago, but across the nation, making sure that we are equipping our equality with our equitable distribution of quality teachers across the district. So making sure that these schools in some of these low economic communities are getting the better teachers as well. And so it's a problem all across the country. And so it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be a system similar to what they do in the NBA and the NFL, where they're trying to implement some form of affirmative action. You have to interview 3 potential Black coaches for any
Rooney
coach
rule.
vacancy.
Yeah.
The Rooney rule. So, this is something that may help get the better teachers to some of the schools that really need it. So I think that, those schools should have, additional funding to offer, to be competitive in what they offer to teachers, as well as, some of these teachers that are coming from these better educational training systems should have to spend some level of time in some of our worst performing schools to help implement structures and systems that can improve those students, and the students get an opportunity to be influenced by these teachers. So it does exist. It's unfair, and it's a necessity to put together a structure that's going to bring about some equality across the board.
Self Love and I, we did this is our 5th education series in education. You're our 4th educator, but this is our 5th show on education. And so on one of those shows, we ran a video, Dallas, Texas, Chicago, CPS, what they're doing is they're outsourcing teachers from the Philippines. It was the
Yeah.
Philippines to teach in the urban areas in Chicago. What's your take on that?
I'm not too familiar with that system and that process and what's occurring with that. But to speak to gaining quality teachers, if the Philippines are bringing us some strong, high-level quality teachers that's coming with some innovative educational structures and systems, it's welcomed. But I don't know too much about if that's happening just as a universal stance across Chicago Public School or across any other districts. If they're outsourcing, if that's considered outsourcing, or if they're just researching where they can find some high-level teachers that can come in and be a resource to our system.
It was posited as, like as a stopgap, for now, like there's a shortage in just teachers, and they were saying that Americans don't want to do the work. It started out in the fields, Americans don't want to do this. Well, Americans don't want to do it for $5 an hour. And, Americans don't want to, teach in these urban communities, and the best teachers don't want to teach here. So let's go here and get these people who really appreciate it, and I guess lower and devalue the teachers' abilities in a market. But
they were also they speak English there, so they are familiar with the language, but the cultural shock from the video was like it wasn't a good impact. They had some cultural shock coming, to the community. So
correct. Yeah, but
which isn't surprising.
Yeah, it ain't surprising. But let me ask you, reform schools, boarding, well, we did that. Weigh and rank private schools, public versus public schools versus homeschooling in today's new normal, with the with Peter Pan, with the covert as the best direction for our kids, meaning urban kids. So rank those. You as a parent, what would you be doing, for your kid?
You have to really that's relative to your child. So every child isn't equipped for the Northside Preps, the Whitney Youngs, the Walter Paytons, the St. Ignatius, the De La Salles. And so you have to really take a look at your child's skill set, what you're willing to invest in your child's academic growth and what they can handle. Because for the kids that can handle the rigors of a St. Ignatius, a Whitney Young, some of the top tier private and public educational institutions, by all means, challenge them to get in and be able to handle the academics at that school. But if you're sending your kid to a particular school just because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you're part of this Jack and Jill or this Lynx type of program, and you're saying, your kid is not a strong academic student, you're setting them up for failure. And so there are a lot of the mid-tier schools or community schools, the Kenwoods, the Lincoln Parks, the Kings, the Lindblooms. Lindblom is kind of one of a top tier school, but those are a lot of mid-grade schools that kids do well at. They go off to college, and there's some trades. There's some schools that provide trades at the Simeons, the Dunbars, that students may not be on a track to college, but they still can develop a trade and be successful in life. So as a parent, you really have to size up your child's skill set. I mean, everyone wants their kid to be at the top tier schools, but you have to really size up your kid's work ethic, their academic growth, what they can handle, and pick the best school for them, and not allow yourself to be peer pressure amongst groups of friends. And then I think that the homeschooling works for who's capable of implementing the homeschool. Now, if you know that you don't have the skill set to implement that level of teaching to your child, don't just keep your kid at home just because.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. If you at home, and you can't figure it out, I got you, bro. I got you. That's well said. The Board of Ed, it can be said, makes urban communities bored of education. What might you like to see amended or done on that level if you were in charge for a day and you can implement whatever you needed to implement to spice things up a bit there for Black people?
This is completely off the record. I take my CPS badge off. I think that
Off the record, just between you and me here.
at a certain levels, we have to let the educators teach. And I know the politicians control the budget and the funding, but I think that Chicago's education system would probably benefit better from a superintendent standpoint. Really, I think the under previous mayor administrations, they've done a good job of really allowing, in the current administration, allowing the CEOs of Chicago Public Schools to manage the structure and implementation of the plans for education within the city. But I think lots of times across the country, the politics takes over the educational plans and the structures and the system, and you get away from the experts, the educational experts, what they really can bring to the table. And many politicians aren't educators. So they're looking at things from a budgetary standpoint, and I get that. But many times when we're developing structures and plans and procedures, deferring to the professionals in the system is probably best, and taking away some of the political genre that exists.
Facts. And me being someone who who's not in that, and would feel no need to be as deferential to the douchebags at Cambridge Analytica and all those analytics guys who get in there with their suits on, pushing buttons and doing math. Let those who are born to teach and trained to teach make decisions regarding educating our children, because there will be a time. And I won't say it now. We'll save that for another show. It'll be another show. All right. Here we go here. Excluding yourself. Now, we already talked about Noop. We already talked about who you credited for, moving, and how you moved through, getting you through, Chi-Town, and big ups to Mom Do. And so then you got down there on the yard, and, you got involved with some guys in Crimson and Cream or what have you, and big ups to the Noops and the Beta chapter, and to you. Excluding yourself, whom do you attribute most for your professional achievements, bro?
My professional achievements?
Yes, sir.
My parents, number one. I had a mentor when I was at Chicago Youth Centers named Mrs. James, a lady that was my director when I was there. She kind of helped professionalize me and some of my work and my engagement with parents. She provided, she sent me to a coaching professional development training. When I first became a supervisor, I supervised a team of about 5 people, and she talked to me about being more of a coach as opposed to a boss. And so I went to a professional development where I really learned how to coach my staff as opposed to boss my staff. And that was very helpful throughout my growth. A gentleman named Bill Gernstein. Bill Gernstein used to own Mr. G's in Hyde Park. He owned a grocery store. He's very influential in the educational system. When I worked with South Shore High School, when I worked for CPS, we did a project where we created small schools. We broke South Shore High School down into 4 or 5 high schools. And we had 10 elementary feeder schools. into the process. And Bill Gernstein was an integral part of my growth and development throughout Chicago public schools. And a gentleman named Sean Jackson. Sean Jackson was my first chief when I came to family and community engagement within CPS. And he was an excellent coach. He helped me navigate relationships with principals. He was a former principal, and he told me, when you're going into school buildings, you have to always honor and respect the principal, because they're the leaders and the policy makers in the school. So you can't, just because you're coming from downtown central office and you're an administrator with the district, you can't go into schools and overlook and disrespect the position of the principal. So always be humble, always making sure you're listening to the needs of the principal and the engagement of the parents. And so, I learned a lot from a gentleman named John Scott. He's a newt from Kappa Alpha. And John Scott taught me a lot about family engagement with parents and community members, and how to navigate, the city as a whole. And so a lot of these folks were very influential in my professional development and my growth. And my dean, Steve Beard, to give a lot of props to Steve Beard. So Steve really helped mold me as a young college student, coming through our Kappa and moving, escalating into the professional field. You guys know Steve. Steve is our Barack Obama. He was always very, very astute and professional.
And big ups to Kappa Raw, and happy belated anniversary for them. Noop, you mentioned process, and I was going to tell you, me and Self Love was trying to tell you that as we were, manufacturing boys on the yard. You got to coach more out there, coach them more out there. But, to each his own. Everybody gets their own lessons at their own good time. It's the time for pause, and it's the time for
both of you, boy. But the lessons I learned from both of you are priceless.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go in the chat real fast. We have let's see here. Janice W said, yes, that's awesome, encouraging, and empowering. I think she was talking about when you were talking about pay for the teachers. Michael Brown, he said, yes, pay teachers and the soldiers that preserve our freedoms. Omni Overseer, also known as Jimi Hendrix, also known as Brother Pullen. This is Andre Pullen, our club. He said, big ups to the educators of our community. CB Hooks said Macaulay, I think when you were running off schools. And then Omni Overseer said Simeon and Dunbar. Gerald Morrow said, put your best teachers in your challenging environments. Yes. As a result, we won't need nowhere near the number of alternatives. Exactly.
Right.
So
He's a principal. He's a principal. Yeah.
Listen, I'm with you. Brother Morrow, I'm with you. Listen what I'm saying, bro.
Same thing.
If I'm a marginal teacher, if I'm coming right out of training, I should be sent right out there to Whitney Young and sit there, because those kids are self-managed almost. Those students, I'm saying those students, those are the type of students. I went to Ray School. I talk about that all the time. They're teaching the teachers like they be knowing, like what you were saying about Don Spite. Their parents have degrees, multiple degrees, and so they've been learning this stuff. So why do we have our best teachers reward? I'm saying yes, pay them. They should get paid
the rich get richer. We do it in all aspects of society. We send James Harden to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and we send the best players to the best team. Now, did the New Jersey Nets need James Harden?
Right.
Did they need? So we're sending him to the New Jersey. We're sending the best free agents to New Jersey and LA.
Right.
So we do it across the spectrum. We send the best to the best all the time, and the rich get richer.
It's your microwave society. And brother Jay Grilla just popped in here. DJ Grilla, he said, Brother Reem, what's happening? So we're going to jump into this segment. Any myths about you or what you do as a black man, black teachers, or any myths out there that you'd like to address or clear up?
Nah. This is a positive self-love show. I don't want to, speak to. I think that everything that makes us up, the gumbo that makes us up, the good, the bad, the ugly, is who we are. So there's nothing that I think that folks are gonna believe what they want to believe. They're gonna think what they want to think. So I think this conversation has shown who I am, what my background is, what my experiences are, the roads that I've traveled, what my makeup is. So if you haven't, there's a quote from a Charles McCrae, and Charles McCrae is a 1800s Irish poet, a Scottish poet, and he says, if you have no enemy, you have no enemies, you say, alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mangled in the fray of duty, that with the brave endured, must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you've done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from the purged lips. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight.
Man.
So if you've never disagreed with someone, if you've never took a stand against the popular status of something, then you've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from the purged lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight. So we've all made enemies. We've all had people disagree with us. We all have not been popular in some discussions and some.
Everybody loved me on the yard. Come on, bro. and I was gonna ask you, Noop. My ship was the first. Come on, let me have that. All right, let me have that. But my ship Marlin was the first Noop in Yoda, my ship, Dr. Hubbard in Greater Beta history to convert post Noopy from pretty boy to animal. And Jimi Hendrix, my club, who's in the animal, brother Paulin, he's typing Silverback in here and for you. And I mean, man, my heart's still broken behind that. But that's not a question. That's not a question. That doesn't deserve a response. That one, we're just gonna let that marinate. Now we're gonna get into the question though. What advice, Brother Pender? You mentioned your 9-year-old self earlier. What advice would you give to your 9-year-old self, if self-love can put you in a time machine and you went back, zip back to where you were at any point when you were 9 years old, and you have all this knowledge and information and wisdom that you have, and the good Lord told you that you can give yourself one bit of information, and please, we don't take the cop out, I wouldn't change a thing, and we wouldn't do that, because we know we all wouldn't change a thing. First of all, we couldn't change a thing. So when people say that, it really grinds my gears, but I respect the answer. But what would you tell yourself at 9 years old?
I was a pretty good student, academic person. I would probably tell myself, number one, to make sure that I maintain my study habits through high school study. I would tell myself, put in a minimum of 4 hours of studying and educating yourself a day. Number two, I would tell myself to religiously work on my left hand, my left hand handles, my left hand layup, setting my right hand shot up with my left hand.
Be ambidextrous in everything. Go ahead, bro.
Ambidextrous in everything.
Man.
Study Isaiah Thomas, study Mark Aguirre, and study Larry Bird's game religiously.
Wow.
Throughout my growth in basketball, and making sure that I'm putting the time and commitment, and then listen to the lessons of my mother more. I think some of the greatest mistakes that I've made throughout my life, my mother gave me the cliff notes and the blueprint and the answer, and I didn't follow the yellow brick road that she laid forth, and I went astray, and I would have diverted from making 90% of the mistakes I made throughout my life if I would have listened to my mother more. So, and the other thing I would tell myself is to read maps. Honestly, like read maps, become more worldly about other cultures, and travel and travel more. Travel to other countries and learn other things from the natives, and not to not to get myself caught up in trying to be perfect. I think there's a characteristic and an aspect of me where I transitioned at a certain point in my life where I felt as though I started to drink the Kool-Aid and believe in what others thought of me, and started to read the press somewhat. And I tried to feel the need that I had to live up to that and understand that I would tell myself imperfections are beautiful. Blemishes are beautiful. Mistakes you truly learn from, and not be afraid to do certain things, because there are things that I feel as I didn't do in my life because I didn't see a path of success immediately, and not to be afraid to do those things just because I thought failure may be implemented.
Nope, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Period.
You know, you miss 100% of the shots.
And for the record, Reem's never seen a shot he didn't want to take.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. That's a good point. All right, here we go. Any family quotes, scripture, words of wisdom that you hang your hat on that you'd like to, share with the Self Love Nation or anyone that, is listening. Oh, and before you answer that, everyone, this is a live stream. However, this same link will be active. It's going to be active right after we stop. So you can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it next year. You can share it with people. They can watch it. It's not just a today thing. So, keep the link. If you stop watching now, tomorrow you can pick back up where you were and share it. Let's share it. Let's share it. Let's get it to the children.
Please, far and wide.
That's right. Self Love and I have tried to keep it PG-13. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Noop. Tori, go ahead.
Hey, far and wide, it's got to go, because this is how the nation will grow. We sitting here with our club, Kareem, and evaluating the scene. So let's get it cracking and elevate. If you can't watch now, watch later.
And if there's
participate.
Any brothers from Nationals, from the Cabal, Kappa Alpha Psi, if you heard anything about Kareem, it's all nonsense. All right, this guy's great. You know what I mean? He's a great brother. Never did nothing to nobody, and I can attest to that. And because I never did nothing to him, and big up. So if you're out there listening, ear hustling from provincials or anything you might have heard about that guy, it was all education. All right, so here we go. It's all about education, and I put that on everything I love. All right, here we go, bro. Let's see here.
You want me to get that quote?
Yes, that's where we're at. Yes, family quote. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is one that I've lived by, and I've taught others. It works in so many different sectors, but here we go. Good is good, best is better. Never stop until your good is better than your best. Good is good, best is better. Never stop until your good is better than your best.
I like it, and it's catchy too. It's a little jingle. You know what I mean? Had that in my little subconscious boy while I'm shoveling the snow and walking to the bus stop. These are little jingles you need to teach your kids while you're teaching them stuff from the pagans. All right, while you're teaching them stuff like what's the one? Musical chairs, where one kid sits there and gets pushed out of the way and bullied and starts crying. Yeah, we don't teach the last person, share the chair. Everybody move over and share the chair with them. No, we're teaching them nonsense. But I digress. And great quote, bro. Great quote. And Self, we didn't have a quote of the day, I don't think. So it's great that he gave us. It's great that he gave us two. So
but it is facts. But on my close,
you got one. Okay, perfect. All right, for your wordsmith's final words. Yeah. All right, here we go. Recommend a book for the Self Love Nation. Feel free to mention a holy book. If you do choose to mention one of the holy books, we ask that you recommend another book on top of that. And feel free, multiple books.
Yeah, this is I got one book and then one series of books. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It covers a lot of aspects of folks' lives. It perpetuates you in many different areas of your life, and so you really want to take a look at that book, and then you want, as you're reading it, analyze it with yourself, your life experiences, and then others' experiences that have taught you. See where it puts you, because it really talks about some strong influential things about your growth and how you use power, how you gain power, how you use power. So 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is a good one. And then a strong book that you're going to reach back to continuously throughout your life, a series of books, is Conversations with God. Conversations with God. And then the three books, volumes 1, 2, and 3, Conversations with God. And then the fourth book is called Friendship with God. So if you read that series of books, it gave me a lot of answers through many situations throughout my life. And I go back continuously and reread different series of those books. And it helps some growth in me as well. So I know Self Love, Tori and I talked about Conversations with God continuously throughout. And The Alchemist is another. So
that one I need to
48
read.
Laws of Power, The Alchemist, and the series of Conversations with God are all great.
Okay, so I've read the 48 Laws of Power, and my advice to the Self Love Nation is, I believe like it's an abyss, but I do suggest that you read it, and you read it just from a point of defense, so you can know when that trichinosis and trichonology is being performed on you, and things like flattery and things of this nature. The Conversations with God, I read the first two. Wasn't familiar that there was a third one. I got lost in that. I got to read that one. And yes, you mentioned Alchemist. I got to read that. I'm reading Bernard Creamer's book, bro. Great book. I'm reading that right now.
Oh man.
And The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. I've listened to the audiobook of that. CB Hooks has suggested that. I don't know if you guys have read that. Self, I believe I sent you the audiobook. That it's like 3 or 4 hours. Wow. Yes, I agree. And I definitely got to put The Alchemist on my list next. So, Noop. Oh, go ahead, Tori. Go ahead.
I was listening to The Art of Seduction on an audiobook from Robert Greene. That's man.
That's part of the 48 Laws of Power series.
Yeah.
Robert Greene. Art of Seduction, that's a great one as well.
Yeah, it's some stuff coming out of the caves in the dark ages, but I mean, it's definitely, I definitely say that you read it. But here we go. Recommend a Black-owned restaurant. A Black-owned restaurant. It doesn't have to be in Chi.
I'm gonna give you one in Chi. I'm gonna give you one in Chi.
Okay, let's go with it.
Josephine's on 79th. Yeah, old Captain Hard Times. The old Captain Hard Times, Josephine's. That's excellent. She's a pillar in the community. And Truth on 39th in Michigan. They have an excellent breakfast, brunch on the weekends, breakfast every day. Excellent atmosphere. So both of those are two restaurants, African-American restaurants, that's pillars in the community. So you got to try Truth and Josephine. Josephine is just a classic.
Man,
old Captain Hard Times. My family did that like every Easter and things like that. So every New
All right,
Year.
well, big ups. All right, well, big ups, because one thing we will do is eat. So recycle that money. That's part of one of our pillars in the More Growth and Development program. Here's one for you. It's a rather new one. You know, when I was doing some Uber for a time, this is one of the questions I used to hit my more interesting guests with. Passengers with, and I'll tell you this, bro. There is no right answer as far as I can ascertain, because it's right down the middle, 50-50. In fact, Self Love and I are in disagreement on the response to this. So here's the question. If you think about the person that you just can't live without, that you would substitute your life in a heartbeat for, in a second, that even me positing this is pissing you off right now. So you're thinking about that person. And if this person, God forbid, knock on wood, was in need of a heart transplant, and you were able to provide said heart from the dark web, but there was a catch. You know, every genie, every jinn has a catch, life for a life. And the catch is that a child on the other side of the world, or from some poor third world nation, maybe they can even be from the U.S., some child was harvested for said organ. Would you pull the trigger and provide said organ?
No, because you know, I have a passion for kids. I mean, I'm gonna love the person that, you know, I'm with, and I want to survive and I want to live. But obviously, this person is an adult. They've lived a certain amount of years. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna deprive a child of their life and their experiences to continue life for my selfish reasons, to continue life for an adult person who had the opportunity to have already lived.
Well, no. What if it wasn't a child? I mean, you bring up a good point. What if the age of the donor is the exact age of the person that you may have been thinking? Does that change your answer in any way? I mean, you bring up a good point, so I have to change the structure of the question.
Yeah, it may. So is this someone who's given up this heart, or is this are they being kidnapped?
Yeah, it's black market, bro. It's black market.
Yeah, nah. I'm taking the L. I'm not paying.
You know, it could be from a third world nation, some some one hut town.
Got kidnapped. They know I need a heart. They kidnap somebody, snatch his heart out of their body.
Right. And you cash app them. You cash app them to 25 stacks, and then they, and then boom.
Everybody gives their blood up in the DNA, so it's set up black market.
Nah, I'm no.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's a deep question, bro. And all right, here we go, man. This is we got through all of that, bro. And this is more fun stuff. These are the quick hits. They're designed to be yes or no answers. So is there a God?
Yes.
Have you ever seen anything supernatural, meaning spiritual, angelic, or demonic?
Yes.
Have you ever heard? Well, you said yes, so skip that. Have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
Have you
ever? Know of. Not that I know. Maybe.
Okay. Have you ever seen an alien?
I feel like I have. Some humans look alien to me. So.
Yeah. I have a big dome, and I've seen a UFO, and sometimes I wonder if that me seeing the UFO was just how they sent me down here, and that's how they tricked me and made me think I was human. You know what I mean? They zapped me into some poor smuck kid's body and hit me. Oh, there it is. Yeah, whatever. All right, here we go. Did human do the moonwalk? Did human do the moonwalk on the moon during the Apollo mission?
Yeah, I believe that was real.
All right. We're going to play a 5-minute game, but before we do that, anything that we haven't covered, whether it's professionally or from your life or anything you wanted to say, these aren't the shout outs though. This is just anything we haven't covered, that you wanted to talk about today.
I think we've hit a plethora of topics, conversations, a lot of information that's been distributed. I think that I just want to continue to promote the platform of parent engagement, parent education, and parent civil engagement as the catalyst to academic success for students across the board.
Man, big ups, and we thank you for doing this. And you guys, the show will be over in 5 minutes. Please hang in there. We got a great game, and this is brother Kareem Pender. He's a great beta noob for all y'all noobs out there who might not know. He's a pretty boy, real soon to be converting. I'm gonna have my ship, Dr. Hubbard, reach out to him, talk to him about that process. You can contact him at K like Kappa and V like Victor, Pender at cps.edu, or you can hit him up on LinkedIn. It's Kareem, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's Kareem and then Pender, Pender. That's how you can link up with this brother. If you had any, questions, comments, concerns, educational needs. He's all about quality and equitable education for African American students at every level, anywhere on earth. High-level parent engagement, involvement in every aspect of the children's life. So that's, who's blessed us. He's a graduate of the University of Illinois, and he's been in the teaching. I don't like to say business, but he's been in the teaching industry for over 2 decades. And so we're all about lessons, not lectures, here at the Self Love Show. And that's why we bring men in like this. Another reason we do it, Noop, is, they always say there's no black men in teaching. So you cats are like unicorns. So we like to sit down and talk to you cats and just find out, what happened. And these videos will spin into perpetuity. Who knows, Noop? 600 years from now, some cat might look at this video and be like, man, Robert Taylor Holmes, and who knows, bro? Weirder things have happened. Your great grandkid can watch this video. That's the beauty of what we're doing. So, so let's see here. Self, you got anything before we jump into gameplay, good brother?
Like, share, subscribe. Man, this is the content that we need to spread like a wildfire.
True.
Y'all know how we do. So, man, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's get it cracking. All right? We need this. This is the information that we need to grow the nation. So let's go with it.
Let's go with it. Let's go ahead with it. And so, Brother Pender, I know you fancy yourself a hip-hop head to a certain extent. And so I don't know if you've ever heard of a rapper, African-American male from Compton. He fancies himself a rapper. He goes by the name of the game.
Yeah.
All right. So Self Love and we've discovered that 90% of his lyrics, he's just dropping names, bro. I've been saying it since his first record. He got away with it, and I said, okay, it's a nice beat. He dropped some names, people I like. It was song after song. He's doing it here. I swear, I pull these songs up random. $50 Cent. Compton's Most Wanted. So all he does is drop names. So basically what I'm saying is we've fancied the game, structured the game. It's named after him, and it's called the Name, quote, Game, in game. And so we've structured the game to fit you. We tailored it towards you, and the maximum points that you can get is 180 points. We will score this against all the other participants. Tori Ship is the first one who was scored under this, and he scored Brow Spike, that is. Old Ironside. Old Ironside. What are you guys doing? You're standing around?
Ironically, your brother's, your ship's brother.
Yeah, Old Ironside. You guys standing around? Everybody standing around? Why don't you get back? All right, anyway. He scored 155, Noop, so that's what you're up against. He's got the current high score, and I'll explain it. Just for the scoring, you can get, in the first round, you can get a maximum of 6 points for each question, all right? So that first round, you can get a total of 24 points. So here's what's going to happen. It's kind of like the pyramid game, And so what I'm going to do is throw you some clues. We're looking for either the government name or whatever street name, nickname you might know the individual by, or the group by, or the organization by. We're looking for a name. It's the name game name. We're looking for you to drop the name. Yeah, we need you to drop names. It's okay to drop names right now. All right, that's the beauty of this game. So we're going to give you the clue. Each clue is going to cost you 1 point. All right. So here we go. It's up to you to say next clue, so I can know if you feel like you need another clue. If it's a free clue to be thrown out, I will give you a free clue. I'll tell Tori it's a free clue, and we're going to do the scoring accordingly. And Self, you and Omni Overseer, your scoring of 155 was accurate. I went back and did the video check, and 155 was accurate. I thought you were cheating for your ship, and I would have big upped you if you were cheating for your ship. I mean, if you're not cheating for your ship.
You know, me out there.
Bill Belichick would cheat for you. Think Bill Belichick wouldn't cheat?
I didn't have to cheat for my ship.
You think Tom Brady wouldn't cheat for his ship if he was made at beta?
I didn't have to cheat for my ship.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna see. We're gonna see because we got Death Row, Kappa ship, Death Row in the building. We know how they hit the yard. G, I was proud of those cats, man. Who else gave them love? Salik and my man gave them love. Remember Self? Well, we'll get into that on another thing after we stop recording. All right. Here we go. All right. So let me start the little timer here. The timer is just more for make you feel like you're doing something. It's not the timer. It's the Jeopardy music. No, what is it, Self? Is it the timer or the Jeopardy? It's the timer. It's the timer. The Jeopardy is for production.
No, that's right.
All right, here we go. Remember, the first segment of questions, I believe it's 4. These are the low points. They're worth 6 points max. Here we go, Self. This person is from Chicago. That was a free clue. This person is from the city of Chicago. The first original woman, foundational Black woman, to reside in the White House.
Michelle Obama.
Ding, 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 ding. That's 6 pointer.
Yeah,
6 pointer. So
out there. Bing, bing.
all right, here we go.
3/4 court.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been one thing about Kareem, he's always been scrappy. You're not gonna deny him out of that. I wouldn't want to mess with him out there. You know what I mean? If it came down to it, it would have happened. You know, I am Self. But all right, here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah, you know what I mean? All right, here we go. This person is not from Chicago. That's your free clue. This Noop scored 100 points in an NBA game.
Will Chamberlain.
That's another 6 pointer. That's another 6 pointer. Yeah, I told him. See, these are the easy ones, and he's a sports guy, and he's a noob. So trust me, they get a little more intricate here now.
I know they do.
All right, here we go. This gentleman, I believe, is from Chicago. We can check that, but definitely made his bones and name in Chicago. But I don't know about that. So screw that. The free thing is well-known Chicagoan. Here we go. Your first clue. This person's first name is a very famous chicken franchise all over the south side of Chicago.
Harris.
You want another clue? This person's first name is a famous chicken franchise. Okay. The free clue is a Chicago Giant. Say next clue if you want another clue. Time is ticking. All right, here we go. There's a downtown Chicago City Library.
Harold Washington.
Ding, 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 ding. And in the chat, if you guys think you know the answers, type it in there. Have yourself some fun, This is the last question in the easy series.
5, right?
Yeah, that was a 5-pointer. All right, this is it. Final question in the last one. So it might be a little more intricate for him, but I expect this guy to know it, but we shall see. I know his big brother would have known it right away, but we shall see. This organization is a historical organization in the city of Chicago. Here we go. Ralphie Rosario. Ralphie Rockin' Rosario.
I can't hear you.
Ralphie Rockin' Rosario. That's the first clue. You're looking for a group, an organization. Ralphie Rockin' Rosario. Say next clue when you want another clue. Kenny Jammin' Jason. Kenny Jammin' Jason. First clue, Ralphie Rockin' Rosario. Next clue, Kenny Jammin' Jason.
Kenny Jammin' Jason. I can't get next clue.
All right, hold on. No, we gotta cut that off because Jay-Z. Jay-Z ain't giving you nothing free. You know how rich I am. You know what I mean? You know how rich I am. You ain't getting nothing from Jigga. Big ups to Jigga. All right, next clue, right?
Yeah.
Farley, Funkin', Keith.
House music, house DJs. An organization.
It's a name of a well-known crew or group in Chicago. So we got Ralphie Rockin' Rosario, Kenny Jammin' Jason. Your ship,
the old
Asa.
school house, the house DJs, the house picnic. Yeah, all these guys. I don't know the name of the group, but
Scott Smokin' Seals.
yeah,
That's your next clue.
Yeah.
He's losing it on this one, Self.
Yeah,
you got one more clue. You got now. Wait a minute. Now you can ask the audience because you do get a free clue as well because we gave Braille a free clue. So I'll give you a free clue here before you use your ask audience. What would be a free clue here for these guys? Okay, the free
for my ship.
Well, no, we had a free clue, and
we did.
so you want to use your phone line because your ship put the answer out there. All right, your ship Asa Patterson came up with the answer, and it is the Hot Mix 5. It took them a while though.
Okay,
Yeah, it was tough for you cats. It was tough for you cats in your generation. Yeah. No, Camila, it was the Hot Mix 5. It was the Hot Mix 5. Those guys. All right. So here we go.
Okay,
all right, here we go.
So what was the score on that? That's
He got 4 clues. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 clues because the one was a free. 1, 2, 3, 4 clues. So he got 1 point for that one. He got 1 point for that one. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now we're moving into segment 2. Segment 2. Each of these are worth 12 points. 12 points. Each clue still only costs you 1. Each clue still only costs you 1 point. All righty, here we go. You use your phone a friend. The next thing you get is your free clue. So you do have a free clue remaining. Here we go. This person was born and raised in Chicago. This athlete was tragically murdered the day before his senior basketball. Bing, 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 bing. We had Benji Wilson. That is number 11. Rest up, Benji. And Benji would have known Hot Mix 5. Benji would have known, but he's older than you. Benji would have known that. All right, Self. So you give me 11 points for that one.
That's right.
All right, here we go. This person, I'm not sure where he's from. I'll tell you that. And your other clue is this is a pink person. I'm not sure where he's from, but this person made his name and his bones in the great city of Chicago. Architect of the triangle offense. This person was said to be the architect of the Bulls triangle offense. I bet you B-Funk would know this.
Ted, what's his last name? Ted, I can't think of the last name.
You want another clue?
Next clue.
Okay. This person's first name is often used in reference to the word Texas. this person's
Text
first.
winners. Text winners.
Ding, 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 ding. That was a two-cluer. That was a two-cluer. So give him 10 points there, scorekeeper. Give 10 points on that one. Text winners. Yeah, good job. Boy, Funk was rolling over in his gym. Michael Brown had said text winners. Let me pause it right here because Janice gave you a big ups to your mom. She said we need more mothers like her. So coaching and helping our parents is crucial. If they lack, so do our children. Parent engagement is crucial. Times have truly changed. That is true, Janice. That is very true.
Hold on.
Very true.
It was two clues. So I think that was 11 points.
You see this, man? This is the head knocker of LOA, bro. He's got one task to do, and I'm giving him the points after each question, right? I'm literally. And then he says, hold up. I don't even know what he's writing down.
I had wrote down 10, and I thought it was an 11.
All right, well, what's your question, dude? What's your question, brother? I got you. What's your question?
Okay, so he had two clues. That make it 11, correct? Because the first clue was given, you know what I mean? And then he asked for another one, and that's 11 because it's 12 points right here, right?
Yeah, if he gets it on the first clue, we don't charge him that point. So if it's a two-cluer, then he started with 12. So if it's a two-cluer, he gets 10 points.
Okay, all right. Now I'm clear.
Yeah, it is kind of esoteric. But remember, I'll go back and do all the scoring, and you know what I mean? We'll go back and do all the scoring. Just come as close as you can, and then we'll clear it up and get him his score. So here we go, bro. Let's get the timing going. All right, man. All right, here we go. We're 12 points. This is a house music DJ from the city of Chicago. This is a house music DJ from the city of Chicago. This DJ's first cousin is a beta noob from the University of Illinois. He's a house DJ.
His first cousin is a beta noob.
He's a greater beta noob, and he's a house DJ. And he's born and raised in the great city of Chicago.
Is it Farley Jackmaster Funk?
And you don't get penalized for wrong answers. So you want your next clue?
Yeah, next clue.
Okay, here we go. All right, scorekeeper. This is clue 2. Here we go. And I'm the overseer. You can be keeping score too. I mean, what are you doing out there? You're probably sitting in the dark somewhere. Can't even see what's going on. Get a flashlight. Get something. All right, here we go. This house DJ, whose first cousin is a greater beta noob that you know. This his two sisters are AKAs from the Gamma chapter at the University of Illinois.
Bobby Mitchell.
His two little sisters are AKAs from the Gamma chapter. Give you another clue.
Oh, Steve Hurley.
Ding, 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 ding. We got Steve Silk Hurley. Good job. And Michael Brown came up with that. I'm the overseer, said Jack Master Funk. I'm telling you, he's just pressing buttons. All right, here we go. So how many was that, Self? How many clues was that?
3.
I said, well, the first one was the free DJ one. I said me. Yeah, I'm his first cousin, bro. And then we had Angie and Kim. He had 2 clues. Yeah, he only had 2 clues on that one. What was the third one, Self? You remember the third clue? I think he had 2 clues. Yeah.
I guess I counted all of them.
Yeah, the free one. I gave him the free one. All right, here we go.
So what's the scoring, though? 10.
Yeah, we're gonna go with 10 on that one. No, we're gonna go with 10 on that one. And this is your last question, club, in the second series. And you got one series after that, and that's it. 1 second here. You guys like, share, subscribe. All right, here we go. This person is from the city of Chicago. This person is from the city of Chicago. This entertainer is from the city of Chicago. And he is the son of Lonnie Lynn. This person is the
Jason
son.
Green.
The son of
Common sense.
It is Common. We were looking Common or Rashid. So Self, he got that on one clue. So we got to give him the full 12 points on that one because he doesn't get penalized. And we're going to roll right into this next round. And this is the big one. These points are worth 18 points. I wish I knew how many points he had right now, scorekeeper, so he can know what he was up against with Brow. Can we get an estimated current total? Is that in the realms of reality, scorekeeper? Omni overseer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can do that right quick. And I'll be back with that stuff going on.
All right.
Hold on a quick second.
Oh, boy.
6.
All right, here we go. Here we go. These are worth. Okay, Asa Patterson said you're at 66 points right now. Thank you, Brother Patterson. You know, there's hope for you too. I don't know. We have to talk to the animals. You're some sort of per animal, and that's going to be an issue. I don't know if we can convert you. You know, there's hope for this pretty boy right here. All right, here we go. This individual is not from Chicago, but this individual made his notorious name in the great city of Chicago. That's your free clue. This individual, this man, this silverback, was said to have personally kept crack cocaine off the south side of Chicago for many years. New York City, Los Angeles, they were cracking it up. City of Chicago was late to the crack game due to this individual. Next clue. This individual, silverback, was said to be the founder of the Il Rukins.
Jeff Fort.
We've got Jeff Fort. Ding, 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 ding. We were about to deport you and take away your low end card if we would have had to go many more clues than that. We were going to take away your low end card. All right, so that was he got one clue, and then the two clues. He also kept the South Side from burning in 1968. He was said to have had. He also was said to have unified social clubs citywide, and he was said to have owned and operated as an entrepreneur several businesses across the city of Chicago. And he was said to have done a lot of crimes and stuff. So there we go.
What's the points? Two clues. The points.
2 clues. Okay, so 16, bro. 16.
Yeah.
That's a 16 pointer. 16 pointer. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. This is an educator who is not from Chicago. Kids say the darndest things. Kids say the darndest things. Next clue. This entertainer / comedian also earned his doctorate of education. Free clue, educator, not from Chicago. First clue, kids say the darndest things. Second clue, entertainer / comedian that also is a doctor of education. Third clue. No, sir. Third clue. Philadelphia-born comedian.
Anthony Anderson.
Got a Philadelphia-born comedian who's also a doctor of education. Kids say the darndest things.
Bill Cosby.
There it is. Ding, 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 ding. That was 3 clues, and these are 18-pointer self, so that was 15 points to the scorekeeper. That was a 15-pointer. Good job, bro. Yeah, Bill Cosby. Free Bill Cosby's. Get him out of there. All right, here we go. All right, here we go, bro. You got 2 more, and then you got a 36-point bonus question. This person was not born in Chicago, but made a notorious name in Chicago, made his notorious names in Chicago. This person, this silverback, is currently serving a life prison sentence in ADX Florence prison for murder.
Larry Hoover.
Ding, 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 ding. He took all those points. We got to find out what building 39 was and what was going on. So, you know what I mean? And what was going on over there in the town when they got over there to the town. And what he was telling those kids. Yeah, they clicked in with him for a reason. We'll talk offline. Here we go. All right, here we go. This one here, bro. This is their last 18-pointer, and then we're going to tally it up, and then we're going to give you a 36-pointer so we can see where you are in reference to Brown. That's why the scorekeeper's acting funny, because it's his ship. You know what I mean? You want to act funny. But you got
I
Ace.
No, shit. I asked what was my ship I was asking too.
But see, now you got Asa and Michael Brown and these other cats. They're keeping it honest. So
Well,
here we go.
It was accurate then, and it's accurate now. Exactly what his ship said was accurate. It was 66 there.
Well, we're gonna just so you know, bro. We're gonna review all of it, and you can watch the show yourself and retally it up, Brother Pender, and get it to your ship's, the scorekeeper. So here we go. All righty, this person is not. Not from Chicago, but quasi. It can be argued that this person is from Chicago. It could be argued, but quasi. Because, first clue, this person was believed to be the first permanent non-indigenous settler of what later would become known as Chirac. First permanent non-indigenous settler of what would later become known as Chi-Town. That's your first clue.
Jean Baptiste DuSable.
Ding, 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 ding. That's some education for you non-Chicago folks, and you guys go check out the DuSable Museum once you don't have to wear these face diapers and Peter Pandemic, or if you get your shot or whatever's going on. Big ups, YouTube. Get off me. All right, here we go. Can't even talk no more. All right. We want to tally this up to see where you are, So
133.
Oh, wow. You're at 133. So if you get this one, you have a new high score and you shatter Brown's initial score. Even with Self Love, Bill Belichick in you on the scoring system.
Well, I didn't build.
All right, here we go.
Really? No Bill Belichicking.
Oh, Tom Brady in you. Tom Brady.
No, I didn't do any of that. I didn't deflate the balls or anything. My ship stood on its own.
All right, here we go. Here we go, Noop. This is the money ball, bro. This is the money ball. Now, if you got any competitor in you, this ball should mean everything to you. It's like what your mom tell you, if you got 105, how much was it worth? You know what I mean? Well, here it is. You sat there and rested on your laurels. This is it. This individual is not from the city of Chicago, because that would be too easy for the money ball. This individual is not from the city of Chicago. This individual is not from the city of Chicago. First clue. This individual is from the city of Compton, but his guys would refer to it as Bompton. This individual is not from Chicago, but he's from the city of Bompton.
Not from Chicago, he's from Compton. Too short.
Want another clue?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Clue number 2. G unit. G unit.
The game.
Ding, 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 ding. We don't know his, I can't remember his government name. I meant to write that down. It's government name, but that is it. The game. We're gonna get a final score, and somebody type that final score in there in that chat, and I'm gonna double check it. Great job. That's the game.
What is the points?
Oh well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because it's changed from round to round, so I'm not clear on it.
That one was 36. That was a 36 pointer. Right. And so Compton was given to him as a clue. And then G unit. So that's 34 points. It's 34 points for that one. 34 points. Wow. He shattered it. Speaking of an educator, shattered it. Wow. All right, bro. Well, that wraps up the name game segment. So now we're to the big ups. Any shout outs?
What's the total points?
167.
Yeah. All right.
What did y'all have?
155.
The champ is here.
167. Hey, Paulin, type that in there. Type that in there, please. 167. So when we do the tally in, I'm gonna double check it. Good job, bro. It's gonna get competitive. What we're gonna do is bring back all the best scores at the end of the year just for the game. And you guys are gonna sit there and compete against each other. You know what I mean? The best of the best, just for the game, right here on the Self Love Show. Hopefully we can get the game involved. You know, if he doesn't get his clique to come beat me up because I'm right in Inglewood. Big ups to the game. Big ups game. All right. Camila said 167, so we have a discrepancy.
Well, you said 11 on the point.
Camila, was your ship on the show last week? I don't think Camila's ship was on the show last week. So I'm gonna go with Camila. And I'm the overseer said 167 as well.
Well, you said 11 on one of the things, and it was a 2.
You have to stop being so defensive and just say, I got the numbers wrong. That's
no.
It's not my fault.
Well,
this
isn't
said
my fault. One of them was 11.
They got the score right, so it can't be my fault. That's all I'm saying. If it's right, I haven't rechecked it.
All right, so listen then, and stop cutting me off out there. All right, on the first one, it was a 2 questioner and it was 11 points, and then the second one was it was a 2 questioner, it was a 2 cluer, and it was a 10 pointer. So that's where the odd come in. If it was decreasing by 2s, then how could it be odd? That's the only way it's odd.
Well,
I rolled with it.
Listen, we're gonna retally. Enough of this. We're gonna retally it up. It's either gonna be 166 or 167. Either way, you beat the crap out of his ship. And apparently that's where all this vitriol is coming from, because you sat here on live and beat the crap out of his ship. I can't understand why he's so upset. But at any rate, good job, good Noop. And we're at the, you're his club. I'm your club. You know what I mean? He can hang his hat on that, right? Can he hang his hat on that? You know what I mean? You're from the South Side. We're all from the South Side. But Noop, any big ups, shout outs, so to speak, that you want to throw out there, good brother?
Man, big up to you guys, man. This has been an amazing trip down memory lane. Man, I love you guys for creating this show, for developing this platform. Big up to the Greater Beta Noops. I know that you guys were destined for fame all day long, man. You guys weren't afraid of anything. There's so much fun I had with you all. Big ups to the Cabin Ship, Death Row, all my ships out there, all the love and support that I've received from you guys over the years. And big ups to my parents, my parents, who laid a strong, I'm an advocate for strong parent engagement, strong parent involvement, throughout your life continuously. I still, talk to my parents on a regular, still get excellent guidance from my parents, my family, major support all around. Camila, that's my younger sister. She's tallying the points, making sure her big brother's not cheated, man. So
that's right, and she should. And
major love across the board to family in general. And big up to the educational system in Chicago, all my friends and family members within CPS that was on watching the video, checking us out, and really, understanding what it truly takes. Because the folks there was some police sergeants, I'm not gonna say any name, but some police sergeants, there was some people that's very invested in developing parent education across the district, principals, educators. I got nothing but love and support for all of you all. And thanks for hanging in there with me on this show and throughout my career, for all the ones who helped mold my career. Much love. And a special shout out to my mom, my dad, my siblings, and just my family overall, because you guys are truly, sometimes you fall out with your family, you make up with them, but at the end of the day, that's your foundation. That's your core. That's your support. So really, especially during this pandemic time, this time of loss, we're suffering a lot of loss throughout this past year. Reach out to your families, give folks hugs, your friends, and appreciate who's still here. And if you have any problems or issues or just controversy, let all that stuff go, man. For real. With anybody, any of your friends, any of your family members, let it go, because at the end of the day, what's most important to us right now is health, our family, and our friendships. And at the end of the day, that's what means most to us right now. So, try to live your life in a positive way, move forward in a positive way. And those who know that you're out there for me, who supported me, who's given me, who's been an anchor for me over the last couple of years, I love you all very much. And, I'm here. Any questions? He's giving you my email address, my LinkedIn information. Reach out to me. Anyone I can help support with anything, I'm here. So mad love to the two brothers who've created this show and the platform that they've given us. Peace.
Before you go, man, as we always say, bro, thank you so much for doing this. And this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California
to South Shore. This platform is made for you and me.
Yeah, Noop. So right now, we approaching 300, Self Love and I, we know it. We'll have 3,000 and 30,000 and 3 million. And as far as, God can take it, because there are no limits. So this platform is always here for you. If you got, a message you want to get out there, good Noop, man, we're going to be the same cats as we are, today, down the road. So, just bear that in mind, bro. We're here for you, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate both of you, man. Looking forward to, getting back to the beta picnic, getting back to all the things, the Founders Day weekends where we can see each other live and just, be able to develop them camaraderie and continue to grow, our legacy and any area of support that we can give. But, I'm 100% in support of this platform and what you guys are building, and anything I can do to help support it moving forward, I'm here for.
Man, Noop, and your crib look good. I want to ask though, do you got a basement in there?
Yeah, it's a duplex. When you're in town, come check me out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, we are. We're gonna take you through that animal training. Didn't tell you about that. I'm gonna have my ship reach out to you, my captain, man. He gonna reach out to you, man. Get you on another level, bro. Hey, but we
bring
we
you
don't
to
care.
the other side.
Tori, you know who my purse is. Your ship,
come to the light.
Come to the light.
Come to the light.
Carol Ann, come to the light. Hey, Dory Collins said she knew you were going to win, so she's a great supporter and great platform, and we received that. Dory, please, share the link, spread the word, because Self Love and I, we're not out for clout. We're nation rebuilding.
Man. Facts, and more facts.
And Noop, and you and your people, we never kick nobody out the crib, especially not no beta Noop. So, show yourself out, bro, or you're welcome to park yourself without your cam and sit there. But or you can watch it on YouTube as we wrap up the show. It's gonna be like another 10 minutes. We're gonna close it out. Wordsmith's final words. You definitely don't want to miss those. And we're gonna tell everybody what we got coming up next.
Appreciate you, brothers.
Man. Yo.
Love, honor, respect, Noop.
Yeah. One day you'll be able to animal. I mean, just try it. Animal. And hit it with a down tone too, boy. We're gonna holler. Yeah, we're gonna holler, boy. Right? So, you know what I mean? These guys, right? Yo. And yo, the pretty boys, man. You know what I'm saying? These cats. So, you know what I'm saying? Love them all, man. Love them all. Hey, one thing it's so much to take away from that.
Man, oh my God. Oh. Wow.
Right? It's hard to quantify.
Can't, because he just went and then brought in a bunch of stuff and then kept bringing in more stuff and then more stuff. And then you had to try to bring him back to
and not to knock any other
it, right, to chronicleize it, but he just like
one of our most coherent guests.
Yes, period.
Right
along in the series though, man. I mean, like the educators have been like right up there with the most coherent.
Oh yeah, they've been ballsy. They've been ballsy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can say ballsy YouTube. The bots. He said ballsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can say ballsy. I'm confident of that.
Man, they got this little Nas X doing all type of stuff right on YouTube, and then they want to sit here and tell us our Corona show was too much.
Well, you already know, man.
We digress. And big ups, thank you everybody for your support. Definitely smash that thumbs up button, on your way out and everything. Next week we got Big Nick. It's gonna come back on Tuesday. I gotta, call him. You remember we had an abridged version. We're gonna do the second half of that show. So we got that on the open date for Tuesday. And then we got Kobe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Kobe Robinson next week.
Yes. That's gonna be expansive.
Yeah, I mean, we lose. Last time this guy came on there, we lost subscribers. You know what I mean? And we're bringing them back.
Hey, if you don't want to be here, oh no, okay.
No, that's always been our principle. Before the Noopy, during the Noopy, through the Noopy.
Yeah, I've got the space for that. So.
Oh, okay, I got you. Right.
I wasn't going to use it about that at all, but you know what I mean.
Well, you know what? Hey, yeah.
Well, I am thoroughly assured that I am not everyone's cup of tea. And this ain't that. And that's why I'm me thoroughly. And I'm going to be me. If I offend you, then maybe this is not for you. And we want everyone to be here and want to be here. It is of the utmost importance. And I would be remiss. I missed early in the day in the show the self-love quote of the day. And it's very apropos. Until the lion learns how to write, every story would glorify the hunter. African proverb. So, man, until we write and present our narrative, it's not going to be heard. And we have to do a better job of discerning the information that we get and receive. We listen far too much to our open enemy. They know who they have. Of a mustard seed, and we got